straight to it. No. This is real. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes. Something to look into the skies and see. Didn't even do a 5-minute one on this one. I'm like, you know what? They're in there. Man-eater says they're getting feral. I gotta go take a nap. I know. You know what? I wouldn't even blame you. It's late, and it's why I usually when it gets this late, I'm like, fuck it. God, people are sleeping anyway. Let's get everything set up real quick. I don't even have the Twitch open. Let's see what's going on over on the Twitch side. I gotta understand what I gotta do to get a stream. Yeah, you gotta threaten my life. I gotta understand what I gotta do to get a stream. All right, got that thing going. I gotta get that Twitch up. Let's see. Let's get the Twitch side up. I gotta understand what I gotta do to get a stream. All right, got that thing going. I gotta get that Twitch up. Let's see. Let's get the Twitch side up. Mute tab. All right, got that thing going. More thirst channels. All right, here we go. More thirst channels. Pop out chat. Boom. Got him. Got him, coach. Pop out chat. Boom. Got him. Got him, coach. Pop out chat. Boom. Got him. Got him, coach. Okay. I think we're good. What's going on, everybody? It's me. It's me, Robo. The guy who needs a haircut, a beard trim. This thing is getting a little scraggly. The guy who bought a whole oil and conditioning kit for it. Definitely got to get a haircut before we head out to Chicago this week. Oil and conditioning kit for it. Gonna be at the DSA convention. Got to get a haircut before we head out to Chicago this week. End up in El Salvador. True. Why would you be? Let's see. Let's check it out. El Salvador. True. Wavelength. Why would you be? Yeah. No, you shouldn't be getting an echo. Echo. How am I sounding to y'all? Yeah, no, you shouldn't be getting an echo. Echo. No, it's I appreciate it. You know what? Honestly, all jokes aside, I appreciate the push. I really do, because I need it. Honestly, I need it. It's all jokes aside, it is way too easy. I really do, because I need it. Do you still hear the echo bone factor? It's way too easy to just fall into a sense of do you still hear the echo bone factor? It's not giving a fuck. That's for sure. Do you have the stream playing in the background? Oh, not giving a fuck. That's for sure. Do you have the stream playing in the background? Oh, not giving a fuck. That's for sure. Do you have the stream playing in the background? Boom. How's that? That probably did it. That probably went ahead and fixed that problem right there. Yeah. Everything should be muted now. The server dwellers are angry. Yeah. No, yeah, that's what it was. You were hearing me, and then you were hearing the delay from the other side there.
F-35s.
Hell yeah, good to see you and everyone out here. Grr, that's what's up, Dr. Midnight. With the
Yeah, GD to SU and everyone here.
16th sub. That's what's up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Dr. Midnight. It is good to be back. You know, same thing. I don't know what it is. What is it about the brain, huh? Like, what is it really? I'm not even kidding. Like, you get out there and you're like, oh, I'm tired. I haven't prepared anything. And you always just, God, dude, I hate the way that I am sometimes. It's like, and then when you do it, it's like parties, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, do you want to come out? And it's like, man, I don't know. I'd rather just stay home and not have to get dressed. But then when you're out, you're like, man, I'm glad I came. And you do that about 30 or 40 or 50 more times and you still don't ever learn, you know? Every single time I come out here, I'm glad I streamed. Aramis, Prime subs. Thank you for the Bezos bucks. Thank you so much. Trump ain't giving you enough material. I know, and it's all the same shit. That's what it is. It's all the same shit too. It's like, hey, how are you doing? Today the world is on fire. And it's still on fire. And it's gonna still be on fire. Always. I think you should take a few minutes at the end of the stream to share the memes. Yes, I definitely will show. Actually, why wait to the end? Why wait to the end? Hold on. Let's gather some of these bad boys up. School never cut off your free prime. That's what's up. Tell your school thank you for me. Let's see what old John Stewart had to say. Actually, Bone Factory too. Let's check out some I like when these stay up because then it lets you know how long it's been. Was that only last week, right? Right? So last week I didn't stream, but I streamed that Friday. So I think, yeah, I missed 2 streams. Okay. Sorry for the stream. Look, I like this one. This one's my favorite because I was ready. It just was a little late. Sorry, we're in the stream. You're looking for another castle. Very nice. The Left Face Brigade. Left Face. But I just went ahead and let's see. Repose, is that what it'll be over here? Nah, it's gonna be on the regular. Oh no, yeah. Robo of Left Face TV. You have failed this city. I'm a man of my word too, at least for today. Come on through. Let's see what else. What else? All the jokes. All the jokes. Bone Factory. There we go. AI have failed. The president was still killed. Sam, you weren't sent to save the president. Your Swiss cheese brain doesn't remember. Originally, Jackie died too. You saved her. Also, Ziggy says because of this, chances that Left streams on Monday is raised to 3%. So, thank you, Aramis' school, and thank you, Jackie O, for taking one for the team. Your people need you, Aramis. All right. Well, thank you for swinging by. Thank you for the cameo, and thank you for the Bezos bucks. I appreciate you, brother. Oh man. No, there's more. There's more. But wait, there's more. Let's see what we got here. Thou shalt stream every Monday and for fuck this. I'm an atheist. This is perfect because, of course, I'm not gonna listen to this bitch. I'm an atheist. I'm not even sure this dude Moses was even a person. I'm pretty sure he was a mythical figure. He was pretty much Bronze Age Superman. That's who Moses was. Place of Robo. I just saw you in Discord, Bone Factory. I'm glad someone in the house is sleeping in the house. Place of Robo. Dr. Menace says, I'm not gonna lie, I've been hiding from the news for my mental health, only catching blips for and Left Face TV. Listen, I get it. I get it, but I tell you, as long as it's not out of laziness, no, and only you know that. As long as it's not out of laziness, because I'll tell you what, I've kind of gone through the ups and downs. I've gone through the nihilism I feel. I've gone through, what I feel is like, what the fuck are we doing? Like I'm just gonna move. And by the way, I still might move. I'm not sure. If you are privileged enough to leave, I don't think anybody would blame anybody else for getting the fuck out of here. But I understand. I understand not everybody has um, that option. But I will say this much: I think if there's any time to get involved, it has to be now. Um, I'm kind of reinvigorated for August. Uh, you know, Starting to take things more seriously, trying to become more active. I didn't start today at 8 because I was on a conference call with the DSA National Working Group for boycotting the airline Novello. And definitely going to share once we get the boycott Novello petition up, I'll let you guys know, because so y'all can help me out getting some signatures. But for those who don't know, Avello is an airline that the government contracts to fly migrant detainees, prisoners. So big timing us again. Oh, because yeah, yeah, I get if you want to call a conference call with DSA, big time. No, because we're doing a campaign on a local level because they fly out of Savannah, and the national DSA is also running the campaign, so we're trying to like figure out how we can link up the two, right, and not reinvent the wheel. Kidnap victims, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Yeah, kidnapped human beings with no due process, who are a major part of our economy and a positive part of American culture. Yeah, those people. I'll tell you what. There is a part of the conversation that kind of gets a little weird. A little weird. What's going on, Ballyhoo? Uh and it's this. Check this out. So we know they're here to find a better life, but they're here um not through legal channels, which by the way, I don't give a fuck about. Don't care. But because they're not here through legal channels, they're exploited and paid shit. Because they're paid shit, we get lower prices on our produce. So now Trump says, let's round them all up and get them the fuck out of here. And now it's like, oh no, produce is raising and they're rotting in the fields. And I'm thinking to myself, so is the answer hurry up and get back the people who we were exploiting so that we can exploit them some more? You know what I mean? Like that, isn't that a fucked up kind of like, I feel like we're not looking all the way past, to the finish line. I don't think we're looking deep enough. When we sit there and we bring back child labor. Yes, Arkansas was actually on board, leading the way. And Texas. I'm sorry, not Texas. Shit, probably Texas. But Florida. But it's like the answer is not bring back undocumented migrants so that you can continue to exploit them and pay them pennies, and them having no avenue to complain or to sue because you'll just get deported anyway. The answer is giving these people fucking citizenship. That's what the answer is. because I think Americans have proven time and time again that they're not going to take the spots, and I think Trump is kind of is low key almost doing a positive thing just accidentally because it's Trump, right? But he's kind of proving the point about this whole like Americans don't want to do it. But he's no, somebody's going to do it. Get them all up. Get them all out. Okay. Who is going into the fields? They're literally children. Children yearn for the mines. This is true. But you're actually not wrong. I mean, it's not an accident that we're doing a mass deportation effort as states are also loosening child labor laws. That's not an accident. And I think we're going to really regret for more reasons than we're thinking. We're going to regret what's happening today in this administration a lot more than we expect. Obviously, we're losing and we're seeing a further mutation, deformation of whatever semblance of a democracy we had by rounding up human beings without due process. And, maybe they have crimes. Maybe they're, I don't know, tat it up. Oh shit, that's a sports team. Fuck it. He's a brown guy anyway. We don't need no beaners out here. Yeah, one of my concerns is that when the orange turd is out of office, whoever takes over won't do anything to change how things are under the guise of we all have to do all the harm. Yeah, no, please fucking believe that the blue no matter who crowd are gonna have every fucking excuse under the sun why the Democrat in office can't undo whatever. You know what I mean? They did it for Obama. To this day, they did it for Obama. Obama had a supermajority. Obama had 60 Democrats in the Senate. 60. He could have done damn near anything he wanted. Can you imagine what would happen to this country if Trump had 60 on his side? I mean, it's already bad having a slim majority. Imagine having a supermajority like Obama did. He would be the Republican, he would be the conservative racist god because he would do everything. And Obama's like, well, I got you Obamacare. I watched the Cenk Uygur Jubilee thing. I gave him a view. And I mean, there's some bullshit in there. I wish I had clipped some of it. Actually, I might go over some bad shit, but he makes some good points on some other ones. He reminds everybody that with a supermajority, Obama barely got shit done, and the ACA he passed, the Obamacare he passed, it was a mirror image of Mitt Romney's plan that he had already written. It was Romney Care, I think, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking right. So with the supermajority, Obama did really fuck all, except rebrand Mitt Romney's healthcare plan. Hello, face. Am I looking to what today? I feel like I missed the word. Isn't that funny? I do that shit all the time. I'll text somebody and there'll be like a whole ass word not in there. And I'm like, what was happening? I want to like go back and say, what was happening at that exact moment where I want to be like, hey, are we going out for dinner tonight? And I'll be like, hey, tonight? ? Like, oh my God. Like, Did I black out? Like, what the fuck? Bone Factory. My asshole would hurt. What? What was the context? was it Obamacare? Did you have did ACA cover hernia operation or something? Not hernia, hemorrhoid. The additional cruelty the administration is sending people to places they've never lived before. He just wants to be as mean and evil as possible for his idea of revenge for 2020. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I do think he is trying to show people what's up if Trump had a supermajority. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because we'd all be fucked. But I think what he's doing is actually pretty clear. And yeah, cruelty is the point, and racism and Project 2025. But I maintain that I don't believe Trump is a true believer. I think Trump knows that if he does what the Heritage Foundation folks want him to do, then he's going to get the power that he wants, and that's what he really wants, is power and money. And that's why his family has made billions of dollars since 2016 on various deals that he's made in and out of office. Every single decision makes him or one of his billionaire friends tons of fucking money. Tons of money. And that's what they're going to walk away with. Sigfang says, still funny to me that some in vote blue, no matter who crowd, are hypocritical enough to not take their own advice when the blue person is someone further left than them. Blue, no matter who, unless they're brown. Yikes. Have you ever looked at the word the? No. Does. Sometimes does fucks my brain up. I'll look at does and I'm like, do it? Do's? Dois? Am I spelling that right? Is that how you spell does? I gotta look that shit up sometimes because my brain's like, nah, that's not right, bro. There's no way that word says does. And then okay, no, I'm tripping. Oh shit. Speaking of vote blue no matter who, check this out. Dark Skeeter. We gotta get the Dark Skeeter out. All right, here we go. Check this out. Check out the young man spitting straight fire.
A Holocaust. I am tired of using Israel's committing a Holocaust. I am tired of using the word genocide. It is not a genocide. It is a Holocaust.
You can't do this. You specifically can't make a video like this. You can't. Because I remember who you were a few months ago. It seems like you forgot, which is kind of crazy because it was less than a year ago. The videos are still public. You probably still get a few notifications from those videos. Did you somehow, like, your brain completely switch? Because if it did, there should be a mental incongruence with the things you're saying now versus the opinions you held a few months ago.
I'm just checking on the 92%. How are y'all doing on this April 5th? How are y'all doing? What did y'all do today besides take y'all ass out there with everybody else?
I'm confused. I thought you were supposed to be resting. I thought you, as a part of the 92%, were supposed to be resting, not getting involved. This isn't your fight. Are you okay? Have you pulled a muscle trying to get involved? I don't want you to hurt yourself. You're supposed to be resting. Take a break, Queen. Some people called it out, and then she
Take a break,
by saying
Queen.
This.
Once again, for all the slow people in the back.
Ow! No!
Have you pulled a muscle trying to get this?
Once again, for all the slow people in the back. Starbucks never had anything to do with Israel.
Okay, don't switch up now. Don't lie. The boycott was always about Palestine, which is why you specifically recorded a video of yourself drinking and eating Starbucks after Kamala Harris lost, after you made a bunch of videos blaming the Palestinian movement for her loss. Like,
Nasty.
these are blatantly contradictory things.
Nasty
Are you just so
work.
different now? Are you such a different person that you can't even perceive the contradiction?
The reason y'all jumped on that bandwagon is so y'all could get black people on y'all side to help with y'all, to help fight, to help protest, because we were boycotting Starbucks because 2 black men got kicked out of Starbucks and got arrested for no damn reason.
What?
And for the unions.
Wait, I'm confused. That the original
What?
intent for the Starbucks boycott was about calling out racism and union busting, then why did you tell a bunch of black people to go to Starbucks?
Hey folks, take y'all asses back to Starbucks. Go get your mocha frappuccinos. Cause I'm about to go get me a whole 24 fucking case.
And you yourself, a black person, go eat Starbucks in November. So are you anti-black or are you against the pro-Palestinian movement? Which one is it? We're ecstatic with glee to go to these places to signal. Even if you don't think those things are associated, you purposely recorded yourself going to McDonald's, going to Starbucks to signal to the Palestinian movement. You didn't care anymore because you blame them for the loss. And let's just do some quick little math here. Estimated 170,000 to 200,000 Palestinians in America. Kamala Harris lost the popular vote by this much and lost all 7 swing states. Let's keep going. There are approximately 3.7 million Arab Americans in the country, not in the specific swing states, not in the red states specifically, not in the blue states, but across the country, right? Kamala Harris lost the popular vote and lost 7 swing states. So mathematically, it's not lining up for you as to blame them for Kamala Harris's loss. People were warning us, Palestinians were warning us that people are going to switch up at some point, right? When things get too bad in Palestine, when it's impossible to ignore, when it's impossible to not, speak out against the genocide, people are going to switch up and pretend that the things they were doing beforehand, they didn't do. Don't let people forget. Don't let them forget what they did, okay? All the videos are down there. Go look for yourself.
Damn. he said, people don't forget. Oh man, I'm telling you. There is no liberation without the entire coalition. None. You got to be in collaboration with it. You got to be. You have to. I said it on Threads and I'll say it here. I don't give a fuck about your Viva la Raza if you're anti-black. And I don't give a fuck about your black power if you're a xenophobe, anti-brown, colorist. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about your black power when you're disowning your gay black sons. And your trans daughters. You know what I mean? Like this is intersectional. This is why hating Trump is not enough. Hating Trump is not enough. Hating Trump is the dirt, is hell. It's nothing. It might as well be nothing. I don't care about you hating Trump. Of fucking course you hate Trump. If you're not a fucking weirdo fucking conservative evangelical, if you don't think that we have to back Israel because a Bronze Age book says that it is prophesied that when Israel it returns and the temple is rebuilt, that signals the second coming of Jesus Christ. And that's why we have to support Israel the way we do. That person is lost. That person is why we're in where we're at today. 100%. But if you're not that person, of course you don't like Trump. Right? I mean, that's nothing. You have to be in coalition. You have to be. And your principles have to be such that your why you're in coalition cannot be for selfish reasons. You know what I mean? Like my desire to, as a brown person, as a Latin dude, to be in coalition with Black America has nothing to do with what I want to get out of anything. Nothing. It's because Black folks are oppressed with me. right? I mean, and really, in this country, the oppressed class. So why wouldn't I? You have to be. But then if I walk out the door and I get called a beaner and I get called, wetback and told to get the fuck out of here and da-da-da-da-da, now, like, well, you know what? I tried to be in solidarity with black people, but these 6 people here, or 10 people, or 100 people, I don't give a fuck how many people, they were mean to me. They didn't back my non-black Hispanic candidate that I really wanted to win. All the black people voted for somebody different. So now I hate black people. Bitch, you didn't fucking love them in the first place. You were just doing what was cool. And that's the problem with not having real principles. Because they're not rooted in anything real. They're just what is cool right now. There is no amount of hate I could receive from black folks, none, that makes me change my principles or have a different idea of what I see, of what I imagine liberation to look like. None, zero. I mean, obviously they're not coming over after dinner if they hate me, right? But doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. And people just don't get that. That's why Zionists always want to think that it's a dunk whenever they bring up the fact that, did you know Palestinians, Hamas will kill you if you're gay. Do you know Palestinians don't? Bro, they're fundamentalists. They're religious fundamentalists, just like you fucking crazy Christian crazy fundamentalists. And let me tell you something. If any of these motherfuckers tell you that as Christian fundamentalists, they wouldn't execute gay people. First of all, I'm not even saying it's true that Palestinians do that or Hamas does that, but I'm just saying, even if it was true, if you think for 1 second they wouldn't execute gay people, that's funny, because they absolutely fucking would. They absolutely would. If they lived in a world without consequences, without prisons and shit like that, and it was a complete theocracy, abso-fucking-lutely they would. Doesn't the Bible literally say at the end times heaven will come down into earth and it will be a new Jerusalem? Doesn't that mean current Jerusalem does not matter? So it all depends. It's all up to interpretation, right? Especially when it comes to prophecy. Prophecy is like, if you think like Jesus is quoted, and then you have the quotes, and you go to 10 different denominations, and you have 10 different interpretations of what Jesus was actually meaning. See, you have to know the Greek. If you understand the Greek translation, if you understand this, and then, no, this is actually done in poetic rhythm. So this comes first, then this, and you see what he actually is saying. Bro, if they do that for plain language speak of Jesus's words, prophecy is a million times worse. There are Christians out there who believe that the prophecy is literal. And when I say literal, I mean literal. I mean multi-headed beasts rising from the ocean, the Jezebel on their heads, dragons, demons walking the earth. Some people believe that it's going to be literal. Other people go, well, no. This represents Istanbul. This represents this, and this blah 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 blah. And so, really, you can make it mean whatever you want, and all you got to be is a church leader who's then ordained and says, I have been shown what this verse means. It is, I have been enlightened. God has spoken to me. And so, turn with me to Revelation 7, verse 17, and I will read to you. First, I will read to you from the word of God, and then I will tell you what the Spirit spoke to me last night. As clear as I am speaking to you, he has told me what this means. And you're sitting in the crowd like, oh man, here we go. Here we go. And he'll say something about Russia. He'll say something about, is it a coincidence that I can read this? And wow, look at this. And they've been doing that shit for fucking ever. What's up, Sock now? Did God make a mistake or is God a mistake? Yeah. I like that. Nietzsche. Jesus, don't cook my burger too much. Jesus means women shouldn't vote. Yeah. And I say it unto you, I will stream tonight, if only to ensure that Jon Stewart is not right. No matter how funny those memes are, I will beat the 3% Bone Factory. Wow, that was me. All my teenage years, that was me. Isn't that wild? I can't even tell you. Man, some of those church dresses too. At the height of puberty, that is not a safe place for a young man, I'll tell you. The Jefferson Bible is correct. He'd be in the allegations out of spite. That's it. Boom, bingo. Ding, 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 ding. So you have streamed every Monday and Friday for the past 2 years. What happened? They said I wouldn't. That's it. They just said I couldn't, so I will. My father was a preacher. He passed away in the 90s. Sorry to hear that. I know it was a long time ago, but still. I'm nearly 50 years old, and people still ask me why I'm not a preacher like my daddy. I tell them God didn't call me to do that. Yeah. My uncle was a pastor, and I went to his church for a long time. Actually, I have 2 uncles that were pastors and a cousin that was a pastor. I was super into church. And when I say I went to church, I don't mean like, I thought I used to be a Christian and we went on Easters and Christmas. Like, we had Bible study Wednesdays. I had youth group. I had church summer camps. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of had a blast. Like, as an adult, fuck church, right? Like, but as a kid, that was actually pretty fucking fun. And they did that shit on purpose so they can get you. You know what I mean? I think that's what we gotta on the left. We gotta learn. They gotta get you. Yeah. You know what's funny about that actually is that's kind of my answer whenever somebody says like, what would it take? What would it take for you to believe in God? And I'm stealing this from somebody. I can't remember who I'm stealing it from, but I am stealing it. I just can't remember. So I made this up all by myself. I didn't steal this from anybody. And whenever they ask me, what would it take for you to believe in God? I go, I don't know, but an all-knowing God does. So if I die in my atheism, the only reasonable thing would be that God chose to not do that thing. And I guess I'm going to hell. Or I'll just cease to exist. I guess we'll find out. Or maybe I go to heaven because there was like this other God that hadn't been discovered yet, that you could only reach paradise by not believing in anything. Those were the people he said, I only select secular materialists, because they are the ones who are good for nothing. Wow. English, huh? Good for nothing. They're good for no selfish reasons, right? They're not good because they don't want to go to hell. They try to be good, and they don't even think there's an afterlife. And so this God is out there, and he only picks atheists who try to be their best. And now I'm in heaven. Suckers. Pedro, was it Pascal's wager? Pedro Pascal's wager? What if you're wrong? What if the story I just made up 3 seconds ago is right? And you don't get to go to heaven. Gotta say sorry that you're right. Yeah. Y'all Christians put a lot into this heaven hell DLC. Yeah. The retcon, man. The Christians really did a number on that retcon. The DLC sucks. I want my money back. Yeah. If it wasn't for heaven and hell, there would be no Christianity. It would still just be Judaism. Heaven and hell is the Christianity. When Jesus Christ says, I am the way, through me, I am the way to the Father. Right? Or else what? Like, that doesn't mean anything unless there's a punishment. To be honest, now everybody buys the special edition. True. It's true. Yeah. I've been behind the veil. The philosophy is the secret of theology, and theology is the aesthetics. And beauty puppet philosophy, the religious philosophers, the puppeteer. Okay, I'm not gonna give up. We're gonna figure this out. I have seen behind the veil and know that philosophy is the secret of theology. Philosophy is the secret of theology. Theology is the aesthetics and beauty puppet of philosophy. The religious philosopher, the puppeteer. I think I get it. By the way, what's up, Ben? I didn't pre-order, so I'll just wait for it to go on sale. I'm trying to buy the cracked edition, right? But I just keep getting viruses, unfortunately. Are you going to the convention? Am I going to see you? I met one of your peeps today at the Stopavello conference. We had a little call. I'm on the national Boycott of Velo crew now, so we can get that running over here in Savannah. But yeah, I'll see you there. Did you get tickets to the soiree? I don't even know what that means. Soiree. What a fancy word. What a bourgeoisie word. Soiree. An evening party, a gathering, particularly in a private house, or for conversation or music. Hello, I am Democratic Socialists, and this here we're gonna have a soiree. Rather. Just call it the Get Down. I like to think of Jesus as a character played by Andy Kaufman. Y'all got nuclear wasp in your state now? What is that? Nuclear wasp? That's something I need to, Oh, wow. Radioactive wasp nest found at Cold War era U.S. nuclear bomb site. Holy shit. Look at this shit. Wasps living... Are they aggressive? That's the only thing I care about. If they're not aggressive, like we have black carpenter wasps around in the trees here, I don't ever do anything to them. I said, be free. Do your thing. But yellow wasps, they're aggressive. Wasps living... Get a drink. Wasps living around a Cold Era nuclear facility in South Carolina have built at least 4 radioactive nests, raising questions about their source of hazardous material and the extent of environmental contamination. Holy shit. But do they act differently? The report said that the nest was on a post. How do they find that out, though? Near a tank used to store nuclear waste, and it was probing 100,000 DPM, 100 CM2 beta/gamma. Holy shit. 100 square centimeters beta per gamma? Get the fuck out of here. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to assume that's really high. Wait a minute. Oh, just like I thought. More than 10 times the total contamination values. Still, it concluded that the radioactivity of the nest was considered to be from on-site legacy radioactive contamination, not related to a loss of contamination control. But the Times uncovered that 3 additional radioactive nests had been found since July 3rd. I need to know if they're bigger. Do they like shoot shit from their face or eyeballs? Are they more aggressive? How are they alive? You would think like if radioactive shit going through us makes us sick and destroys our cells, how are like wasps just be like, they're just taking it to the face? The main concern to whether or not there's a large significant... Yeah, I don't care about the people in the area. I want to know, did it change the wasps? Did it give them powers? That's it. However, the Times pointed out from a report in 2017 when officials at SRS found radioactive bird droppings on the roof of a building at the site. Birds can carry radioactive material long distances. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I need to know. Like these people, that's what Jon Stewart, you get it. People are not taking this seriously. You're talking about, oh, is it in the water? Are nearby people? No, I want to know if I'm going to get monster wasps that are the size of dogs and shoot darts out of their ass. That's what I need to know. These are the real questions people want to know. Stop. Oh, F11. All right. I don't want to talk about him. Sweeney Todd. I do want to talk about this a little bit. There's only a couple minutes. I already talked about it a little bit on Nerds of Culture. Apparently Trump said something. My opinion really hasn't changed much since I said what I said. Thank you, Rough Rider. The only person to say something positive. Thank you. Stop it. Stop. No, before we watch this, let's see. Hold on. I did see Sweeney Todd's reply, crying. I'm like, stop it. When are white women going to realize, like, look, it's ruined. Like, I'm sorry. All right. Now you know what little boys have had to go through the last 50 years, not being allowed to cry. You're not allowed to cry anymore. Period. Sorry. If you cry, we're going to call white woman tears, which have gotten people killed, and everything's ruined for you. Is that fair? No, I don't think it's fair. I think it's discriminatory, and my heart goes out to you. But I don't make the rules. White women aren't allowed to cry anymore. They're allowed to cry at their own tragedy, like a death in the family or something like that. But if they did something wrong, you better take some you know, some pills to deaden your emotions because you're not allowed to cry. Inner part in Revelations about flying snakes with scorpion tails. Yes, yeah. And that's what I mean though, John Stewart, right? People are like, those are clearly helicopters. Why? Because we said? Because that's what matches now. In 1,000 years, something else will match that. And they're like, oh, it's clearly the XI-94 underground terminal thing, you know? Hold on. Wait, can you just link it to me? What is it? I'm being lazy. New American Eagle ad response. Is this it? Let's see. No, we don't. He only streamed because we've been roasting him since Thursday. Man. By the way, Fridays have always been a maybe day.
Been dominating the headlines all week. Here's what happened.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
American Eagle released.
Hassan says that she sounded never mind, but why does her voice sound like that? Verbatim. I get at some point, we're just gonna have to bring the R word back because like what's the difference between saying the R word and then saying, why do you look so never mind? Okay, we know what you do. We know what this is. You're just making us think it, right? Jesus said something about that, right? Jesus said, thou shalt not murder, but I say unto you, if you even hold anger in your heart for your brother, you have already committed murder. The law says, thou shalt not commit adultery, but if you have even lusted after your neighbor's wife, you have already committed adultery. It's time to bring back the R word. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Released a new denim ad campaign starring the White Lotus and Euphoria star called
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
That dialogue caused the internet to go into an absolute uproar, with critics saying that
I do find it funny that people's algorithm, like I see people on the internet kill. Is the left even saying this? I don't see anybody saying this, and da 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 da. And I'm like, I do. That just says something about your algorithm. The echo chamber. We all have an echo chamber, right? The algorithm makes sure of that. But online, anyways.
American Eagle was promoting the discredited theory of eugenics, and some even going so far as to liken the ad to Nazi propaganda.
Hitler did briefly model for Mein Comfort Fit jeans.
Now, American Eagle is defending their campaign, saying the ad is and always was about genes. The one spelled with a J, not with a G. Quote, we'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their alien jeans with confidence, their way, the company said in an official social media.
CJBRDF, thank you so much. I appreciate the sub.
The statement, quote, great jeans look good on everyone.
I bet you want to try these jeans.
Now, earlier in the week, a Trump
See, that's what I'm talking about there. I bet you want to try these jeans, right? Like this is what I'm kind of talking about, right? When we're talking about pushing the envelope, why can't I do anything here? Why can't I do anything here? You would think that a fucking platform that does videos, right? Oh, you bitch. Oh, you son of a.
Missed what's been
I can't.
dominating.
Why wouldn't I be able to? Oh. Anyways, what did she say? She said, I bet you want to try these jeans. Can you do that in eugenics? Huh? Come on. Can you do that in eugenics? Can you pick somebody else's genes for yourself? The double entendre is that she's hot. The pushing the edge, how far do you want to push the edge? The edge is sex. That's why she looks down at her tits when she says great jeans, her tits. That's why she buttons up the jeans last, so you can see her whole, like, just right above her pubic bone, you know? I bet you want to try these jeans. I bet you want to have sex with me. I'm telling you, the more I hear about it, the more I hear the complaints, the more I see the commercial, I really think we fell for it. We fell for the okie doke. We fell for the okie doke. And I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry. You know, maybe this will get me canceled. Maybe I just want to cape for white women. Maybe I hate myself and I love white women too much. But I'm sorry, I don't see the white supremacy messaging. I see it, but I'm saying I don't see it as obvious. I don't see it as something like that's definitely what they were going for. Yeah, but that's a different argument. Exactly. I mean, believe it or not, I actually thought about that. Exactly. I don't know if this is what you meant by this, but I'm saying that I thought of this. Like, it's not about whiteness. It's not about eugenics. It's not about white is right. It's about I'm hot. Don't you want to bathe in my bathwater? Don't you want to get in my pants? You know, jeans. Have you all seen the Aaliyah version? I know Ernie said that he didn't see the he didn't think they were similar. So I'll let you all decide for yourselves. Nice bird name. Aaliyah jeans. Help figure.
My father has beautiful chestnut eyes.
Let me get my big ass head out the way. How about that? Maybe that'll help out. I'm pretty sure she's like 15 right here. So this is weird for different reasons.
My father has beautiful chestnut eyes. I got my voice from my mother. I like my hands. I take ballet at school. All kinds of dance is beautiful. I think I walk like my mom. Everyone says we look exactly alike. I got Tommy jeans. What else? He's not my dad, but I got Tommy jeans.
So she's talking about all the and I will say I kind of looking at it again right now because this is the first time I actually like watched the whole thing. I just saw a clip of it when somebody else was talking about it. I don't think it's too sexual. I mean, yeah, they focus on her belly a lot, but she's also wearing jeans and she was always wearing belly shirts, even in her videos and stuff. So I think if you're sexualizing this video, maybe the person sexualizing is kind of weird. But think about what's the double entendre here, the jeans, right? And she talks about, you know, how she looks. She looks like her dad and she walks like her mom. Da, 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 da. But I have Tommy jeans. It's not my dad, but I have Tommy jeans. It's jeans. Sweetie Todd comes in and says, don't you want to have sex with me? You know? And I guarantee there's like can you imagine when she got the backlash? Like, hey, people are mad. People are super mad. And she comes in, rolls her eyes like, I told you they'd be mad, but hey, they're talking, right? So what are they mad about, right? The sex stuff, right? No. What else would they be mad at? They're obviously mad at the sex stuff, right? They're mad at the top. I looked at my boobs, right? Objectifying woman. That's not why they're mad. They're saying eugenics. Aaliyah's ad is far from being about Aryan eugenics. I didn't say they were about Aryan eugenics. Of course they're not about Aryan eugenics. I'm saying that the double entendre is still about genes. And you know, hopefully I'm just gonna assume that they cared she was 15 years old, and so they made hers about her mom and her dad and her, you know, but Sweeney Todd's was about sex. And I still think it was tone deaf, that's for sure. Sent you a great video from one of our 4 Portland city councilors. CGBRDF. Ben is always flexing on me. He is always flexing on me. He says he's just proud of his chapter, but he knows there is no way the Savannah DSA could ever get what the Portland DSA, and he does this to hurt me. That's what he does. He says, "Hey, do you want to see what a real DSA can do?"
You may have seen.
You want to see what happens when you don't live in the deep South and you can get 4 DSA members on your city council? And so I'm pretty sure he's like hoping I'm crying. That's what this is.
You may have seen the latest Willamette Week cover story. Gotta say, I appreciate that the article makes one thing loud and clear. The socialists are organized. And apparently our coordination is making the old guard.
Yeah, that's how you know. I know you started it. That's how you know that this is something we can never get because we live in the deep South. But we'll try. We'll still try. We all miss you, by the way.
A little nervous. Can't argue with results. But the focus really seemed to be more on the what and less on the why. So let me clear a few things up. Is there a left block on this new council? Yes. Are we effective? Yes. Do we hold regular meetings with DSA organizers? You bet. But what wasn't made clear in the article is why. Why are we doing these things?
Because you're commies, that's why. Because you're un-American, communist, Marxist agenda. Wait, hold on. Because you're a commie, trying to dismantle the United States of America. That's why. And I don't care. I do not care how cheap things get, how much better my life gets. I don't care. I don't care that my kids get to eat. I don't care that when I'm old, I'll be taken care of. I don't care that my neighbor was taken care of. You can keep that commie shit and shove it. Oh, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate you.
It's about delivering on policies Portlanders overwhelmingly want and desperately need. The very first resolution we proposed called for an investigation into Zenith Energy, and we passed it.
Oh, so now you hate energy jobs? Portland hates jobs. We want to take down Zenith Energy. How many people does Zenith Energy employ? And you don't want people to have energy now?
We brought a resolution to protect and expand Portland street response, and we passed it. We proposed a host of budget amendments, ensuring funding for parks, fostering a more balanced approach to public safety than just pouring money into traditional policing.
All right, I'm done with the jokes. This is pretty awesome.
And we passed those too. And critically, we passed a resolution to kickstart social housing in Portland. And that's a big one. As everyone knows, we have a housing and homelessness crisis. Temporary shelters are important, but they are not a solution. I'm working with Councilor Avalos to build publicly owned, permanently affordable housing for all, because that's the only way we're ever going to solve this crisis. Is it unprecedented to have an organized group of socialists on city council? It sure is. But if that sounds scary to you, I'd encourage you to look past the noise and focus on the work. We're here to build a better Portland, a Portland that voters have been asking for a very long time. And we're just getting started.
Isn't that awesome? Doesn't that just like get you like all warm inside? Until you realize you live in an area that would rather starve than let other people do well. My lord. Yeah, we're trying. Got old Kelsey trying to go for in Atlanta. God damn it, Kendra Clark here in Savannah. She's a co-chair with Chase. She is going to run for state representative, I think, or city council, or state representative. One of the two. I'm pretty sure state representative. Affordable housing, not in my United States. Yay! But, sir, aren't you getting kicked out of your home because you can't afford the property taxes? Well, that's right. That's my goddamn fault. That is my fault. If you try to help me, old Trayvon over there is gonna get help too. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather see Trayvon starve than see my kids fed. Okay? I will not have any people of brown or black people get fed and say, I will starve first. I had to register as a lobbyist for Portland DSA with the city. So now you're a lobbyist. Whoa. What's next, huh? You gonna tell me you're a landlord next? You gonna tell me like, oh, I had to become a landlord for the DSA? Is that what's next, huh, Ben? If you want a hat like this, or a hat like this that says "Make Israel Palestine Again," head over to leftface.tv and get yourself a hat. Okay? Just get yourself a hat. Don't even need to sub. You just go get a hat. And I probably make about as much money. I'll see you on Friday. Actually, I'll be there on Thursday. I'll be there in time for the 9 o'clock Thursday night stuff, if you're gonna be there. So I'll see you Thursday. Oh, by the way, before you go, did the soiree have a dress code? Is that like something I have to bring like nice clothes for? Just DM me. All right. Let's get on with it. No idea? Okay. Oh yeah. I wanted to see what Trump had to say about the commercial. I would guess it wouldn't hurt, but you can't make socialists dress any kind of way. True.
Reacting to the controversy over Sydney Sweetie's American Eagle ad. The ad's getting attention for its play on the word jeans, as in denim pants, and genes as in genetics. Critics say it plays on themes of eugenics. Now a second ad, this time from Duncan, is drawing similar scrutiny. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic.
The controversy over Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad has reached the White House.
My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
The ad gained attention last month for its play on the word jeans, as in denim pants, and genes, as in genetics. Many saying it plays on the themes of eugenics.
The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to...
Now I'm gonna stream. Watch. It might be for my phone, but I'm gonna stream.
to justify white supremacism.
My genes are superior, and by that, I mean white with blonde hair.
But some say that connection may be going too far.
That might be a bit of an overreaction. Although Hitler did briefly model for Mein Comfort fit jeans.
As far as I'm concerned, y'all be looking way too deep into.
The controversy has gone political, pitting right-wing.
The nonsense where you are not allowed to ever celebrate someone who is white and blonde and blue-eyed.
against left-wing.
It's not that they want to see more white women. It's that they want to see none of anyone else.
And now a second ad, this time from Duncan, featuring actor Gavin Castellano, drawing similar scrutiny.
This tan? Genetics. I just got my color analysis back. Guess what? Golden summer. Literally.
Critics.
And they stop it right there. That's dirty. I knew it. They stop it right there. Like it's like literally the one line. Like, I just got my color analysis back, golden. And you know what the problem is with that line? You know what the real problem is with that line? The problem is, no one knows what the fuck a color analysis is. Like, I bet you, I'd be willing to bet that there is like some sort of like for actors or models, for the camera, right? So like they can adjust the camera so your color analysis says here's what kind of flash you need and shit like that. I'm pulling that out of my ass, but I bet you that's what it is. And nobody else knows that color analysis. You just tell them the color of your skin, bro. And now you being this fucking white tan is what makes it awesome. Like, oh my God, no, I was just talking about my tan, like what kind of tan I had because it's summer, right? I was just talking about the fucking summer, guy. Oh, style theory. What do you know then? What am I right? Is it about like just like the color of the tan for like art and photos and video?
Quickly noting the timing and drawing parallels to Sweeney's campaign.
Talking about genetics, it's weird. It's weird.
No comment from
It is
Duncan,
weird.
but American Eagle is defending its ad, saying it is and always was about the genes, her story, great genes.
Okay, yeah, we got it. All right, so check this out. Texas. Texas wants to gerrymander Texas. Apparently, the gerrymandering is going to break up a lot of Black and Hispanic neighborhoods, and it's going to result in the GOP getting like 5 more seats in the House of Representatives, and they're mad. The Democrats in Texas are calling it unconstitutional, saying it breaks laws. And of course, you know, because Trump's in office and Trump controls the Jeanine Pirro. Do you guys know who that is? The Fox crypt keeper. Jeanine, Pirro was just made district attorney. This is Jeanine Pirro, just made district attorney. I hate her so much. I hate her voice. I hate everything about her. And so, like, okay, so Trump's the president. Jeanine Pirro is the district attorney. Like, who's gonna fucking stop me? Fuck you. We're gerrymandering this bitch. But I need you all to know something. Republicans are not the only people who gerrymander. Democrats gerrymander. It should be illegal across the board. It should be including groups of people, right? If your neighborhood is all Black, why does my neighborhood get cut into 3 pieces and lumped into larger non-Black neighborhoods? It's so that Black folks are disenfranchised and can't come together because the way that they district cuts up minority neighborhoods, and they can never do enough in their own district to make a change. Democrats do it too. Well, the Texas Democrats said, fuck that, and they left. They say, you know what? We're leaving, which I guess is their constitutional right or some shit. And some went to New York, some went to, I forget where, like Connecticut or Illinois, Chicago. And of course, Republicans are, calling out, especially the ones in Chicago, that they gerrymandered there. No quorum, no votes. That's right. That's right. And then Greg Abbott pisses and shits in his diaper, and out of furious anger, and puts out a warrant for their arrest. So let's see. Let's see what's going on here.
Before Texas Republicans who remain in the state actually went to the House. They did not have a quorum, and they started the process there. There was a motion that compels the sergeant of arms to have arrest warrants for the
civil
Democrats
arrest
not
warrant
in the state. I do want to point something out here, though. We're talking about the Department of Public Safety. That's the Department of Public Safety in Texas. So now you have the issue of whether they will leave the state of Texas and go to Illinois and try to arrest them there. This brings
No,
a
they
whole
won't.
host of new
No, they
issues.
won't.
This is generally why when Texas Democrats flee, when they leave, they go to states with Democratic governors. And Governor Pritzker was with the Democrats outside of Chicago last night, where he said he will do everything he can to protect the Democrats. So this is a very...
Get the fuck out of here. You got to be kidding. If I'm in Illinois and some other states safety, whatever the fuck, sends people out and says you're under arrest, get the fuck out of my face. You don't have jurisdiction out here.
Large development. Now, the question is if DPS crosses state lines.
It is fascinating that these Democrats in Texas went to essentially sanctuary cities to get away, when all they needed to do to deny the Republicans' quorum was leave to any.
My brain was really fucked up just then. Like, I was staring at that dude's mouth trying to figure out, is this him talking and it's just off? Like, I was trying to read lips to see if it was just an out of sync voice. Okay, we're good.
Anywhere. They could have gone to Arizona, they could have gone to Nevada, but they all went to extremely blue cities. Did they see it coming, Julie?
Well, I think this became more.
I wonder why, you stupid person. Maybe because they're trying to get something done. They're trying to stop a vote. Why the fuck would they go to a red state? Why would they go to a red state that would help Texas extradite them back to arrest them? Why would you do that? Obviously they're not going to do that. Idiot.
And more clear when this was the first bill that was going to be considered in this special session. I mean, Governor Pritzker said last night he started talking to them back in June. It was really laid out last week when a group of Democrats went to New York, a group of Democrats went to Chicago. And
Exactly, Rough Rider. If they all said, fuck it, we're going to move, which, by the way, they know is not really an option, especially for people in poverty. But if there was some sort of movement to be able to say, maybe a GoFundMe or something, and people all started moving into the same district, yeah, 100%. They would just redistrict again. They'd be like, oh, just kidding. Here's the new cutoff point.
And a group of Democrats went to California. So you could see them laying the groundwork here for a quorum break. The bottom line here, though, is that the Republicans have the majority. So how long do you stay out? In 2021, when there was a quorum break, that was over a...
Look, this is Bloomberg radio. This is I wanted to see what the conservatives were saying on this. But she's absolutely correct. Like, what is actually happening here? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Cory Booker's fucking... what do you call it? The filibuster, right? I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, nice job. 20 hours or whatever, how many hours it was, right? And then it's like, okay, you done? All right, let's get this vote done. Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. This is way better than the filibuster. It is. But she's still right. They got to come back. Are they gonna stay there for 3 years? And then as soon as they come back, the vote's gonna happen. I think this is good for publicity. This is good for maybe, you know what I could see this being good for? Buying time so that the Texas Supreme Court could make a decision on what's going on. Or buying time for the US Supreme Court. You don't have to wait 3 years for that. That's for sure. Yeah. US Marshals are federal, and I don't think I don't know that Trump would send US Marshals out that way, but you know what? Fucking what do I know?
Voting bill, that was 38 days. So you've got to keep an entire group together. School is starting in Texas. This session goes another 2 weeks. Somebody's child could be getting married. So, and now if they come back to the state, they can be arrested. So it's always a question of how long you can keep the group together outside of the state.
Bigger, broader. I mean, we've seen this on both sides of the political aisle, and in response, we've
You
heard...
mean gerrymandering?
Gerrymandering, excuse me. Yes, correct. And in response, we've heard Democratic governors such as California's Gavin Newsom and New York's Kathy Hochul have talked about retaliating with new maps of their own. I mean, this goes on and
New
on.
maps.
I feel like it's part of the, I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Makeup of what is politics.
It's not just about breaking up neighborhoods. It's about creating new districts so that they can add more seats to the House of Representatives. That's what they're doing.
Today, unfortunately, in the United States, but
We should point out that in some cases it's unconstitutional, right? After the Voting Rights Act of 1965, gerrymandering along racial lines is illegal.
So, like, how do we look at this on a historical basis, Julie?
Well, I think the historical difference, what you're seeing here now, is this is not redistricting after new census data. This is redistricting mid-cycle. So historically, that is a little bit different. Traditionally, this happens after census data comes out. This also comes when the president of the United States told the Texas governor, hey, or he certainly had the feelers out there and the words out there, we want to pick up 5 seats in Texas. So this is likely the first time a president has made that very clear publicly. But, separating these districts, this is really up to whoever's in control in some states. Others, there's an independent commission. But in other states, it's up to who controls the legislature.
I wonder how...
What's funny is if Gavin Newsom made good on it and said, you know what? Fuck it. We'll do the same thing so we can get more seats in the House of Representatives too. That's when the federal government would step in. That's when the district attorney and this would, get fast tracked to the Supreme Court. That's when they would stop.
This, before the arrest, I feel like Greg Abbott has, in this sense, kind of played into the hands of Democrats. But before this arrest order, it just didn't seem like a good look to me, Julie, that the Democrats in that state were saying we're simply going to abandon Texas.
That's certainly a risk that happens when there is a quorum break. Now, a lot of them have been coming back with, no, we really wanted to vote on flooding. However, redistricting came up first on the agenda. But the bottom line is what the look is, we'll go over for the next weeks or so.
I think it's funny whenever they, sorry, it was on the agenda, as if there's not a human being making the agenda. It didn't have to be that way.
But at the end of the day, when you talk about tools in the toolbox, the biggest tool that you can have is the majority, and Republicans have the majority. So eventually, when they go back to vote, Republicans control both the House and the Senate.
Right. So bottom line, is this just kind of a little bit of a show on the part of the Democrats? And that bottom line, they're going to have to come back and it's going to have to just play out like it is because Republicans have the majority?
Well, Governor Abbott can call as many special sessions as he'd like. You can call them over and over and over and over.
I love
again.
you too, Pupu-sama.
Back in 2023, there were several special sessions about school choice. So he can call them over and over and over again.
What recourse do Americans have in all of this? You know, we're the folks that actually vote, and we live in these districts.
That's appropriate that she's laughing because the answer is fucking nothing. Nothing. That's the answer.
What recourse?
The recourse is going to happen in 2026. And what are you doing? What are you going to do in 2026? More of nothing. You're still going to have a dismal showing, right? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad things get. For some reason, people just do not come out for the midterms. I'm not sure that we need to really be, putting all our eggs in one basket for the electoral process anyway, right? Because that's we need to be focusing on local governments.
Citizens have, or it's out of our hands because it's based on census data.
Well, I mean, I think citizens have the recourse that they have in any situation. A, they can vote, and B, you can call your lawmaker. But at the end of the day, when your legislators are voting on this, and oftentimes it can go down party lines, I think that's something that voters are used to at this point.
I've been following this story with interest, but do they have to leave the state of Texas to break quorum? Couldn't they have just gone to like the stockyards in Fort Worth?
Well, they can't. They have to leave the state because if they're in the state, they can be arrested. If you're in the
This guy is not very smart. Why didn't they go to a red state? Why didn't they stay in the state? What do you think is happening? What do you think is happening right now? Like, has he not been paying attention?
State, you can be arrested. So sure, I mean, I guess you can try to hide in plain sight, but while you're in the state, if you're breaking quorum, and that was openly decided today, you are subject to being arrested. You're subject to a warrant.
And so now the governor is going to send the Department of Public Safety theoretically to Chicago to arrest them, or is this just...
You're an idiot. You're stupid. I'm done with you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robin Kelly. I'm the Congresswoman from the 2nd Congressional District of Illinois.
Hold on one second. Check this out.
Respectfully, he's making up some shit. Okay?
This is Texas State House Representative Jolanda Jones.
Oh my God! Not you!
All 52 congressional districts.
God damn it! I wanted her. That's it. Just her. There we go.
Criminal defense work. I'm a lawyer. A part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit. Okay? He's trying to get sound bites, and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York. So he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's gonna come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors. And I'm hopeful that the media doesn't follow that. I'm a lawyer. A part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no...
I love it.
And I'd like to say welcome to all of my Texas colleagues. We want you to know that you are welcome in Illinois. Stay as long as you want. Whatever we can do to make your stay more comfortable, we want to do that. Because we believe in what you're doing. You are courageous, and we are here to support you. What you're doing and what they're trying to do in Texas affects you guys, but it affects the whole country. When you want to remove 5 Democrats, that hurts us in the House. As you can see what happens now when there's not enough Democrats to stop the big ugly bill and all the other stuff that they've been doing. They are trying to destroy our democracy, destroy fairness in our country, and unfortunately they're starting with Texas. But we want you to know we stand by your side.
From Houston, who's going to really share a little more and enlighten a little more about the impact of these maps. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Rodriguez Ramos.
Friends, after her profound words, it just seems to me that we ought to give her another expression of appreciation. And to all of my colleagues who have traversed some great distance to be here, and I'm talking about the state representatives now, I consider you my colleagues. It's easy to do something when you don't have to.
Yeah, she sure does.
They are leaving their homes, they're leaving their families, they have jobs, they
Now that's some eugenics I can get behind.
have responsibilities, and this is courage that is uncommon. And with this kind of courage, they ought to be commended as well. Let's give them a big hand, please. Yes, we have a challenge before us. Dr. King reminded us that life is an inescapable network of mutuality, tied to a single garment of destiny. What impacts one directly impacts all indirectly. And that's what we're facing now, this challenge of it not being Texas. It's not
Oh, shit.
that will prevent me from continuing to challenge, not stop, and I promise you, the egomaniacal person. In the United States of America, you take a stand for racism, we will stand for democracy, and we will win. We will win. Democracy is going to win. As you know, the president and I don't exchange Christmas cards.
It's all a dice roll for Maneater. It's all a dice roll. Like 1 second I'm getting slapped upside the head, and the other second she's like, "Oh, I know, me too." Like I'll never know. I'll never know if it's like she's gonna agree. Like it's just her being bisexual is like a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's nice. Sometimes I forget she's still my wife. Crocodile pedophile. You know what? Let me write that down, because every time you say that, I go, "Oh yeah." Crocodile pedophile. Somebody walks in my room, they're gonna be very, very confused when they see that note.
The president is a very vindictive person. He is a don't bring me any bad news person. Just fired someone because he got bad news. We friends have to understand what we're dealing with. And if we understand what we're dealing with, we can stop what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an
True.
person who believes that he has to be right, and if he's not, then the world is wrong. He would impeach judges that differ with him. He would.
All right, yeah, this is so you guys get the gist of what's going on. I hope they make a difference. Hopefully this is not for nothing. We'll see what happens.
America's mayors are doers. They fix roads. They get
If you are watching this as a VOD afterwards on YouTube, this is probably going to be muted from here on. So head over to Twitch at twitch.tv/leftfacetv, leftfacetv, and check out the highlights. You could, I don't hide any of my VODs. I don't put any of my VODs behind paywalls or anything like that. Just check out over there, because I'm pretty sure YouTube is gonna mute this because it's a big show. I did not make that connection. This video about how to search your kid's room, I had no idea that was Eric Adams for the longest. What do you mean I'm anti-black? I just self-esteem, grades, character. Show me how you dress, and I'll tell you who you are. That's the famous philosophical saying. That doesn't make any sense. If anybody didn't know that. You know what? I mean, they're gonna try to play it nice. You know, Mom Donnie's too good for this. Mom Donnie is too pure. But somebody needs to make this put this on a flyer in New York. Somebody needs to put this on a flyer.
Swagger. We need.
Lo siento, no hablo inglés. Repítemelo en español. Él es muy mal y ya tú sabes. The end. I don't see a TV show where they make him think he's a mayor and just follow him around with the camera beam. That would be awesome. Why would he threaten people? Why don't he say, if you want my down, I'll take you all down with me. You will all die with me. If I go down, you all go down. You know, in a nice way. In a nice way, because I'm your mayor and I love you. Ups and downs. Well, here's to more ups than downs, hopefully.
Eric Adams.
By the way, I definitely, every day, I consider moving to Spain more seriously. Every day.
Truly is the philosopher king of New York.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. Married to the game, Lindsey Graham.
Some people may.
Damn, I'm gonna get my fucking. This is gonna be. Let me see. Am I still live? Let me see. Yeah, it looks like I'm still live. Stream health, excellent condition. All right, not muted yet. We're not muted yet. Oh shit. Yeah, but then I have to like speak Spanish weird if I go to Spain. That's the thing. Like, I will never, ever, 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 ever say gracias like I have a swollen tongue. Okay? Ever. No offense. If you move, I know not to expect any streams. Yeah, I will. I'll miss it. I'll probably stream more. Just pretend like you're from the Canary Islands. Yeah. You know what's funny? You want to know what's funny? Did I tell you that? Did I say this already? I was looking into like etymology, like, you know, where do we get like the hablar and stuff like that? Like, you know, the Puerto Ricans do the R and the L thing, and you know, carne guisado instead of carne guisado or something like that. Comes from a large number of migrants came from the Canary Islands, and a lot of that stuff came from the Canary Islands. So that's pretty fucking cool. Pretty cool. You got to learn the oppressor Spanish. That's literally what I tell people all the time. Young Robo definitely has some insecurity issues with his Latin identity, but I am quite secure in my Boricuaness, even without speaking Spanish fluently. And really, that's like one of the, you know, you're joking, but that is one of the things that I like. What the fuck does it matter? Like, I want to learn Spanish. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to learn Spanish, and I'm still learning Spanish and trying my best, right? For sure. But it really is just another colonizer's language. It's not like I could fucking speak the Taino language. Now, that would be dope. You know, if you want to make fun of me for not speaking Taino, that would be nice. I don't know if we know enough about the language. All right, here's another video. What is this? I don't buy that, because Spanish in itself is the language of the oppressor, no matter the dialect. You should learn Taino. Yeah, that's what I said. The delay. I think we jinxed. I think that's a jinx, right? Gotta read the context though. Okay. This is the French Bernie. You know what? I've seen this video before. I don't know if you've sent it to me before or I'm just aware of the French the video, but really good video. Really good video. Definitely a good watch. This guy. What's his name?
J'avais un doute sur ce résultat.
All right. So if you're just listening, there's captions. So you gotta like stop what you're doing, look down at your phone, because this is good stuff. This is a really, really fucking good video.
J'avais un doute sur ce résultat. Mais je me suis dit, maintenant, il n'y a qu'une chose qui vaut, c'est...
Yeah, Bernie, yeah. Honestly, I'm at fuck Bernie right now. Kind of, sort of fuck AOC, like, you know, the bar's in hell, so whatever. But yeah, Claudia de la Cruz is pretty cool so far.
Alors il m'est venu cette idée de vous dire faites mieux. Mais je voudrais d'abord lever une ambiguïté. Je ne voulais pas vous dire comme un prétentieux faites mieux que moi. C'est pas ça que je voulais dire. Faites mieux. C'est-à-dire faites mieux que ma génération qui n'est arrivée à rien. Abattez la citadelle.
Tear down the citadel. Never listen to anyone who tells you to back off, to stop giving in, to abolish, do better. Tear down this system. So fucking dope. Try to explain to you, listen to me, comrade. Political action is worthless without clear political thinking. Without clear theory, no clear action. You must work tirelessly. You must better understand the mechanisms that unite everyday capitalism to the catastrophe that is approaching humanity. And my last word will be the following. A society resists all the better that it is worked by the instinct of solidarity and collectivism. Be collective, be supportive, do better than the shit you're given. Man. Would it hit that hard without the music though? Like, it's good, but I feel like it would like hit at like a 6 or 7. Just hearing him, like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, he's fucking right, man. He's fucking right. But then you add the music and you're like, let's go fucking burn down everything and start over. We just watched this, right? Did we just watch this? Oh, yeah. That's the Portland dude. All right, what are we going to close with? Lindsey Graham might be a good one. Texas governor, he's a dumbass. Oh, you know what? I did want to watch this. Yeah, we haven't done a pop the balloon in a long time. Actually, yeah, we'll listen to a Zionist. I want to listen to a Zionist. They don't do anything in labor organizing, just rallies. Who does? So just so you know, CGBRDF is like damn near, I don't know how he has a life. I'm not even sure how he has a partner. Somehow this guy does like full-time work and full-time activism. Like, I don't know how many times I see pictures of CGBRDF at some rally, outside some city council, in the paper, doing something. I'm like, but you have a full-time job and a partner. That's wild. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do brain rot. We'll watch this on Friday. Nah, we can't watch it on Friday because I'm going to be streaming from my phone. We'll watch it when I get back on Monday. Let me save this. This guy's Sonsel. He's a small-time creator, like me. He's about twice my size, maybe almost 3 times my size on the deal, right? But I did want to go through his video because I've heard of them. I know them ish, meaning like I've seen them on panels and in chat rooms and stuff. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna make a Zionist argument here. So we'll see. We'll look at that on Friday. And then let's do brain rot. That's what we're gonna do. Where is? How do I? Ah, fuck it. All right. Yeah. Mike from PA really went off the deep end on this one. Even the Socialist Alternative Party has won a council seat. What did what's on this one? Mike from PA, he's been a tanky for a while. Even like when I was first like learning about all this stuff and getting, when I used to listen, like I used to be really like watch all the YouTube shit and stuff, the bread tube or whatever. He was always kind of tanky-ish to me. Oh, really? He was getting very anti-Semitic. Oh, yeah, I heard something about it. Something about how like he was flipping out, and then instead of saying "fuck Zionists," he said "the fucking Jews" or something like that. And then oh shit, like he said it was slipped out, and that's not what he meant. But then he still got banned or some shit. I tell people all the time. I tell people all the worse than that. Oh, can you find me a link? I want to watch that. Hold on. We'll do brain rot, but I just want to see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure in anyone's city, PSL is less than 50 people. Let me say something. Here's what I'll say. Listen, Linda. Oh shit! I can't. No, I won't be. 7 o'clock on Thursday. Yeah. I will be. I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to bring a tripod. Yeah. It'll just be for my phone. So you have different groups of people out there, and different groups of people do different things. And quite frankly, when it comes to doing work, I'm at the stage of experiencing this American experiment to where if you are on the left, and when I say on the left, I don't consider like moderate libs on the left. I would say the furthest lib I can deal. If you can call yourself a progressive and you start talking about social safety nets and shit like that, if you're the kind of person that says Norway has it right or something, I'm gonna know you're wrong, but I'm gonna call you in, right? I'm gonna be like, you're a capitalist, you're wrong, but come on, we got work to do, buddy. You know what I'm saying? They don't get that power, but I'm gonna call them in. The idea, right? And just so you know how I'm gonna vote, Ben, at the DSA convention this year, one of the things up for vote is the to release the ban on democratic centralism. And so right now, the DSA has a rule that you cannot be associated with a democratic socialist organization, which I didn't know about until I read that rule. It's a tool against entryists. There are literally multiple Dem-Cent caucuses. So what does that mean? Because it literally reads on the sheet as it describes itself as to say that you're allowed to be a democratic centralist now. I mean, that's what it says that you're voting for. So I don't know if it's like written incorrectly. But either way, what I don't understand is, and that's even a fine. That is a fine concern or whatever. I'm sure there's a good argument for and against, right? But here's what I hear. I'm like, we're worried about democratic centralists taking over, but we're okay with running people in the Democratic Party because that's a main party you can get shit done in. Like we give passes to the right of us, but not to the left of us. I'm like, I don't know. It seems interesting. It seems weird. I definitely wouldn't mind talking to this. Sparts is trying to. I don't even know what the fuck Sparts. What is Sparts? What is that? Let's see. No, let's discuss online. Let's get all the dirty laundry out there. Sparts comes up as a woman from Indiana. Trotskyist. Oh, don't believe in the age of consent. Interesting. You can't see the chat from your phone. How do you know when we're roasting you? Damn. I don't think bashing Leninists helps the left. Yeah, no, I don't. I think there's a difference. There's a big difference between criticizing and bashing. I think that when people are talking, and as a democratic socialist, if I want to critique Marx and say Marx was wrong here and this is why it's silly to be a Marxist, or et cetera, whatever, I think that's a lot different than, like the way I might talk about MAGA. You know what I mean? I think people should be thick-skinned enough to be able to have those kind of conversations about, the differences of thoughts. And here's my favorite writer and philosopher and theorist, et cetera, et cetera. There are plenty of democratic centralists in Spain organizing. If they'd be shunned by decentralists, we'd be advancing at a snail's pace. That's fair. That's why, I mean, I personally don't see them as a problem now. Like I think to myself, imagine imagine it in a world where what we need to concern ourselves with is which leftist thought is the most effective to get to where we all want to be, right? And wow, what a fucking world that would be. How fucking awesome would that be? You just have, we have, big brain people, Maoists and MLs and democratic socialists and just all talking about like policies and what the right way is, right? Market socialists and anarchists, just kind of like all talking. And I think that they would get very loud and probably even violent, but I still would rather that world than a world with fascists and Nazis and shit and Zionism. And so while we have Zionists and fascists and Nazis running around, I couldn't give a fuck less if you're a Maoist, an ML or whatever. Like, you're a comrade. Period. Dot. That doesn't mean I don't have criticisms about your your policies, but that's more of like I consider it like argue with your family. You know, I don't know who Sparts is. You haven't told me. I looked up Sparts on Google and it came up with Victoria Sparts, an Indiana representative. People can't tell the difference between okay. People can't tell the difference between constructive criticism and plain criticism. Yeah, 100%. Let's see, what is this? Communist lead, Spartacus, Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski? What? I didn't have to make all in the first sentence. Like, we didn't make it out of the first sentence. Oh, listen though. Listen. Hear me out. Hear me out. The Pianist is a fucking good movie. Okay? It's a good movie. It sucks that Roman Polanski is such a fucking monster. I'm of the mind that those men are dead. They can't hurt you or be hurt by you disagreeing with them. No, 100%, 100%. But the people who espouse it, and here's the problem. Here's the problem. And here's where I think a lot of people would do better to remember. We're not talking about favorite ice creams. You know what I mean? We're not talking about sports. We're talking about the fact that we all live in hell right now. We are all in a hellhole and we all just want to come out. And so some people have latched on to labels or certain theories and they feel like this has got to work. I hope this works. And I kind of understand that when somebody else comes and says, that's fucking stupid, or that's not going to work, or you believe that, like, you're a bad person. I don't see how people aren't supposed to take that offensively. So I try to like be a little bit more, I let them know if I critique something, it's not because I think they're the enemy. Now, the International Communist League on Roman Polanski. Okay, I see what's happening. This is the statement that we're about to learn. The statement that the International Communist League has put out on Roman Polanski. Got it. Not exactly sure why you would fucking do that. Like the position that I'm assuming that they're going to hold is already bad enough, but the fact that they needed to put it to publish makes it even worse. Like, makes it even like you really, really needed to say something, like me and the fucking Sydney Sweeney deal, right? Me and thinking that I think people overreacted. Okay, I kind of dance around it because I don't want to piss people off, but I just gotta fucking tell you, I think the left overreacted. Period. And I know there's people who are gonna be mad at me. Not y'all, maybe y'all, but I'm pretty sure not y'all. But like on Threads, if I said that shit, I probably would lose hundreds of followers because that would mean that I'm protecting, white supremacy and that I think eugenics is okay or some shit. Like, no, I don't think eugenics is okay. I think that was a reach, and I don't think it was about eugenics. That's my deal. But you know what I would never fucking do? I would never feel so strongly about that I'm gonna make a official statement. Oh shit. All right, let's see. Let's check this out. I'm defending a policy in the DC that allows and prevents prevents entryism. I have no issue with Dem sent groups being part of our big tent, but I also know we need a policy to rid our orgs of groups like this. Yeah, but I guess that kind of leads to the next question, which is, does that party do that? Or does that rule do that? Or is that rule, or is that tool a little too broad? You know what I mean? Like, why not just say, instead of, and this is, by the way, this is the argument for the writer of that amendment. Why don't you just say, hey, look at this paper written by the Spartists supporting pedophilia? You're out. We don't allow Spartists, and you're a Spartist. You're out. Like, why don't you just go by the action? And that's what the writer of the amendment is saying, and I agree with it so far. An absolutely appalling article from the Trotskyist Spartan League in support of convicted child rapist film director Roman Polanski. We completely disagree with the article, but reproduce it as evidence of their sexist, pro-child abuse, rape-denying views. Trigger warning for sexual violence. Submitted by Stephen on February 11, 2014. Okay, so this starts the Trotskyist Spartist League letter. Down with age of consent laws. Government out of the bedroom, hands off Roman Polanski, no extradition. Suddenly reviving their 32-year-old vendetta against world-renowned film director Roman Polanski, the U.S. authorities orchestrated his arrest in Zurich on 26 September 2009, seeking his extradition to be sentenced for having consensual, italicized, bolded, sex with a precocious. This is from winter 2009-2010, Works Hammer number 209. I would be interested, if you can find it, I want to know if that article is still in there. Because that matters. That matters. Down with age of consent laws. So there's two ones that really just kind of like, this is all bad, right? If it's all bad, I'm not saying like anything is good and then here's the bad stuff. But then if we're looking at something all bad, it's like, but here are the fucking mind blowers. And this is a mind blower, down with age of consent laws. And this one is super fucking angering right here. What a fucking victim blaming, sexist fucking pedophilic piece of shit to call a 13-year-old precocious. God damn, dude. After 2 months in a Swiss jail, Polanski is now under house arrest in Switzerland, having been granted bail for an outrageous $4.5 million. Bolded and italicized, Roman Polanski committed no crime. Facing a Hollywood show trial with multiple felony charges hanging over him, he pleaded guilty to unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. Threatened with more prison time, having already served 6 weeks in state prison for diagnostic testing, they put in air quotes, Polanski, a French citizen, fled to Paris in 1978 to escape the Puritan witch hunt. Despite standing threat of extradition, Polanski has persevered in the face of American judicial fatwa. A fatwa. And managed to pursue his film career in Europe with artistic success until now. That's really fucking crazy that that France wasn't on top of that immediately. So, drop a link to it, Viola. We opposed this outrageous witch hunt. as we have from the onset. In the U.S., the morality police, those pesky morality police who say you can't have sex with 13-year-olds. In France, after the officials in the current French government objected to Polanski's arrest, they were met by howls of indignation from other politicians demanding that Polanski face justice in the U.S. Meanwhile, Polanski has long avoided traveling to Britain for fear the British state would arrest him and hand him over to the American authorities. Many are asking the obvious question about Polanski's sudden arrest: why now? The events occurred over 3 decades ago. Polanski is in his 70s and there is no victim to avenge. The woman involved, Samantha Grimer, now in her 40s and married with 3 children, has long opposed the continued prosecution of Polanski and has come forward several times requesting the charges be dropped. And until recently, the U.S. has not really turned the screws trying to extradite him. That's okay. Yeah, you could drop it here. That's okay. Like my mother, not my mother, my grandmother didn't call my grandfather her abuser. There's a lot of victims who never grow up to who never grow up to understand that they were abused. That happens. We're looking. I don't see it. Oh, right there in my face. Wait a minute. Oh my God, it's there. I was actually looking for these right here. Because I'm thinking, that's kind of dirty if you added those yourself, as if there wasn't enough bullshit inside the article itself. But they did. This Works hammer printed on purpose. This isn't like, you know how sometimes you catch somebody and it's like, all right, look, the party leader said this. That doesn't mean the party members, care. Like, the way that we kind of do. Bro. No, it's not from last year. It's from 2010. 2009, 2010. Screenshot of their caucus on Discord. Okay, I got you. Last year, gotcha. DSA break already. The right wing of DSA has sided with DSA LA leadership attempt to expel one of our caucus members. Using the Democratic Centralist Clause. Clearly, this is a political threat to all DSA lefts, especially those questioning the leadership, propping up Zionists like Nithya Raman. Nithya Raman, isn't that is that the one that there's a motion to censure her for being a Zionist? In response, DSA lefts are siding with the bureaucratic DSA LA. What does that mean? Is this some general term? The DSA lefts? And what's the right wing of the DSA? I am so confused right now. Am I in the right wing of the DSA? In response, DSA lefts are siding with the bureaucratic DSA LA leadership, claiming we should be thrown out for pedophilia. It's a right-wing Republican talking point to posit people don't have the right. I couldn't finish. Oh, no. Stop. It is a right-wing Republican talking point to posit people don't have the right to control their own bodies, whether they decide to have an abortion, transition, or have sex with whomever they like, regardless of age or gender. Hold on. Did they delete it? Did they delete it? It is a right-wing Republican talking point to posit people don't have the right to control their own bodies. At clean break now. Oh, it's still up. It's still up. No way. No fucking way. March 2024. Like, I have something to say. It's literally there. It's literally there. Holy shit. Like, I just took this just now. I went to Twitter and screen grabbed that. Okay. All right, hold on. Let's finish the article. How long is this thing, first of all? Hold on. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Hell no. God damn. What is this, college? Let's see. Let's see if we can scan and let's get some juice. Yeah, this is way too long. Why now? At the time of Polanski's original persecution, we were virtually alone on the left in defending him. Why? Why did you out yourselves like this? This remains the case today, as most of the left maintains a studious silence over his renewed persecution. No, it's not silence. It's agree. It's agreement. It's us agreeing. It's normal human beings. We recently defended Helen Goddard. So they make this their, they make this their, like, this is a thing they pursue. They go find people who've had sex with minors and then support them. Yeah, this is a core platform of the party. Like, you got people out there like, you know, hey, let's stop deporting migrants. Let's support trans rights. Let's support reproductive rights. You know, what else we got? Labor rights. Yeah. Oh my God. Labor rights. Of course, labor rights. I'm so fucking sorry. Anybody else? I can't believe I forgot labor rights. Did I forget anything else? Having sex with kids. Who said that? Who just fucking said that? What the fuck? Oh my God. Yes. Yes. There is no fucking way. There is no fucking way that you go this hard for having sex with minors and you're not having sex with minors. There's no fucking way. By the way, I want to write my own publication too. I'm trying to start. We have the Savannah DSA. We're doing one called the People's Report, and I would really like to find writers who are willing to donate time to write for it. So here's okay. All that said, I still don't know why we need a generalized rule when this is enough to kick them out of the DSA in and of itself. Like, any organization that has this. We don't need a. You're like, hey, oh, you're in that group? Yeah, those are the pedophiles. You're out. You want to jump on right now, or are you going to bed? Because I want to listen. I want to hear. If I ever shake hands with someone, all right, bet. Go in the Discord. Close. Yeah, just go like down in the waiting room and I'll pull you up. Oh no. Go in the yeah.
Hello.
Hey, let's say something. Good. Say something.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you are in CGBRDF, aka Ben, aka the father of Savannah DSA. What's up? Talk to me. Tell me why we need a general rule that prevents entryists.
F-35s, fighter jets.
You can't see it. You can't see it.
Hold on, I'm getting a lot of feedback on my end.
Okay.
You know how to stop that?
Yeah, mute my the tab that you were listening to the stream on.
Even if it's right next to it, it can't see.
Are you talking in Discord? Can you? Is your audio?
Oh, you're right. Hold on. Does that sound better?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Essentially, the reason that this policy exists, and it could be reformed.
Oh, hold on
like,
a second.
Definitely.
Dr. Midnight, thank you so much for that. Sorry, I was distracted. The gifted subs. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead. So basically what?
So basically, groups like this will not all democratic centralist groups. In fact, not most of them. And there are caucuses that are all totally internal to DSA that are democratic centralism, like the Marxist Unity Group. Reform and Revolution is probably as well because they came from Socialist Alternative. And part of the International Socialist Organization, the ISO, all joined DSA when that collapsed. So we have a lot of and then there's a communist caucus in DSA as well, which is, I assume, democratic centralist. I'm not in it. I don't know. So that's not the problem. The problem is that democratic centralist groups like this group, what they can do is that they can come in and instead of being open about who they are and about their politics, is that they can come in and not talk about this kind of politics and these beliefs, and in an organized fashion, having meetings outside of our organization, can come in and try to infiltrate and take key positions and do stuff for their own ends that aren't about building our own organization. And that's a problem. And if you don't know, essentially our grievance process, I don't know if you've ever had to do it in Savannah, but it can take 6 months to get somebody out of the org.
Well,
right?
There's unless they quit first. That's what ours did.
Right, unless they quit first, which is usually what happens. But with a group like this, where they're dedicated and they're saying we want to go take over a DSA chapter,
right?
They're not going to be honest about their positions, and you'd have to do a 6 month, essentially a 6 month grievance process to remove them from the org on the basis of their political views, which they're not going to share openly because they know that a grievance will be filed against them.
Couldn't that happen anyway, though? Can't somebody just not be honest about their views?
Oh yeah, of course. So what this does, what this policy, the intention behind it is that it says, well, now if this formation, if you're in this party, like a SPART, and it's found that you're in this organization, you can't be in our org. It doesn't require a massive 6 month process, and it's saying we're blocking out all these people who are in this, and because these are all people, if you're in this democratic centralist organization, your party line is what you're reading right now in this article.
Right.
That is your party line. Nobody who's in this party has any place within our organization, has any place within the left, and we also don't want to spend all of our energy individually kicking out people on the basis of their own individual stuff. Sometimes affiliation, if any affiliation with this party, is grounds for not being kicked out of the is grounds for being removed from our organization. That is a strong belief that I have, and I think most people in DSA would agree. And I also have a lot of friends who are in Democratic Centralist caucuses. You know, I'm not in a caucus in DSA, but anybody who's in the Spartacus League has no place within our organization.
I
And
agree.
also, as somebody who's like had to deal with grievance procedures, not against me, but like as a member of a steering committee, like I've had multiple, had to remove people, work on removing people from the org, and it takes a really long time, and it's not worth our effort as an organization as well. There are more important things to do than So you can be expelled for being under the influence of a democratic centralist organization. It's meant to prevent entryism by left-wing sects. Nobody in the legitimate caucus in DSA has been expelled for this, of my knowledge, in the last since I've been in DSA. The only group I can think of is the Spartacus League, and then I would assume also maybe some people from Revolutionary Communist Party USA, which is the Bob Avakian cult in the Bay Area, which will literally run into meetings of other leftist groups and disrupt and yell at everybody. They do that to DSA, they do it to PSL, they'll do it to everybody. So,
okay, so real quick, I'm still kind of new to this. If I were to get up and beat the shit out of one of them, is that frowned upon with the DSA, or would I get kicked out?
Probably. Because we can't have people doing violence and stuff. I mean,
what if it's self-defense? I felt like the screaming was oh, I'm about to be attacked.
Look, then they could, a group like this, they could go and they could sue us, right? And now you're going to court.
Oh, shit.
This
is what I'm talking about, people. And every time I talk to Ben, it makes me feel bad about something.
So look, they're saying removing the democratic centralist organization provision means that expulsion is about undemocratic and disruptive behavior, not simply membership in a group that describes its decision making in this way. For me, what I would clarify is saying
what they're saying is they want the ban, what they're calling a ban, removed, and by removing it, that means that expulsion will now, if this passes, be about undemocratic and disruptive behavior. Not your membership in a group.
Right. So, but here's the problem. If you're in,
I see what you're saying.
It would still be on the individual. And to me, anybody who's in this group should be disqualified from our organization. Now, I am in support of having more democratic process in kicking out groups like the Sparts, because I don't want it to be weaponized against Marxist Unity Group or Reformer Revolution or the Communist Caucus.
PSL.
I don't want them to be kicked out. If PSL wanted to come join DSA, I would be happy to let them in.
100%. Yeah.
Right?
Same.
Happy.
Yeah.
I have good friends in PSL. But this is the context, is that there are groups that are going to come in with bad intentions and with despicable politics. It's a detriment to our organization. It's unsafe. We have minors who come to our meetings.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't have these people around. And that's kind of that'd be my explanation.
So let me ask you
this. I would imagine that this will be a point of, in my opinion, there's going to be a lot of resolutions at convention that are going to be proxy fights for caucuses and stuff, and I think this is probably going to be one of those, where I don't know. So I agree. You'll change the wording of the rule, but that's not what this does.
So
that's the problem.
So let me ask you a question. First of all, let me say that I'm counting on you to text me or something and let me know if you find out there's any confirmed Spartists. Okay, that guy there, he's a Spartist. He's not telling anybody, but I know he is, because that'd be great. I'm going to call him out. But the other thing is, speaking seriously, Are you saying, right? So now this removes the ban. Not simply membership in a group is the author's way of saying this is a benefit to it, but it's not like he's making that a rule or something. Are you saying that without this ban, there's no process to say Sparts is whatever the fuck they're called is not allowed? Like there's no other way to do that?
Unless, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, because I don't even think that the National Political Committee, I think it would have to be done at convention, which means it would take 2 years, and then somebody would have to bring a resolution to convention to like change, because it's the bylaws, and the National Political Committee can't change the bylaws.
Right.
So you'd have to essentially write a bylaw that says no Sparts, at which point the Sparts can come around and make a new organization to get around it. And it's just a waste of time, in my opinion.
Right.
So I guess I would say what Viola said is right. Change the wording of the rules. I think it comes from a time when there was a big reaction to democratic centralism, and it comes from, I think, DSA's founding and the organizations that made up that founding. Specifically, probably like New America Movement's bad experience with some other people who left CPUSA. Anyway, DSA history is complicated and interesting and wonderful, but
so there was a deadline for the amendments. Obviously that's passed. We just, the convention starts Thursday, but there's another process during the convention for amendments.
Yeah, you could theoretically do floor amendments. We'll see. This might pass, and I think it would be annoying if it passed, but it's not the end of the world.
I mean, they're specifically talking about, okay, so this was last year. What has happened since?
I'm not sure. Well, again, they were kicked out, and so
they were kicked out. So they're not in DSALA right now. Okay, all right.
No, they post on Twitter. Right. That's what I mean is like the policy worked, and this is the only time I know of it being applied since I've been in the org, is against this one group.
The more I learn about like leftist organizations in the DSA, I just want you to know, like you especially, because I know you grew up Jewish. If you ever wanted to know what it was like to be an evangelical Christian, this is it. This is exactly how it goes. It's like, no, my way. Oh, no, my way. And then it's like, well, those guys are really crazy. And then like, well, then you're not real leftists. And you just put like Christian instead of real leftists, it's real Christians. Instead of saying supporting pedophilia, you just do like supporting pedophilia, and you'll get like crazy ass cults and stuff. And this is how it was like being. I was talking to somebody in the chapter about this. They're like, this is really a lot like like church is wild. So real quick, Viola, anybody in the chat, and obviously you've been, how would you change this? How would you change this to be better? Like the wording. You still there? Exit. No, you're there. Oh, I can't hear you, but your shit is green. There you are. I hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Viola's saying specify the values you would not want to enter the organization. In my opinion, it is tough. Like sexism and transphobia, for instance, are really tough ones to impose as values. And the reason for that is that we live in a sexist and transphobic society, right?
Okay.
And we're a mass party. And so like we all, everybody, whether you're trans or whether you're cis, have transphobic bias.
Sure.
Right. And we all do act upon that bias. Like that's the world that we live in. And so it can be hard.
But there's a difference between being like all white people are racist, right? Like we know that. We know all white people, all people in the United States are racist. And even black people, if you're raised in the United States, are gonna have anti-blackness baked into you because this is the country we live in. So you work to come outside of that, right? But there's a big difference between holding these biases and having these influences on us and being like overtly these things, like in policy.
Of course. There's a question though. Like there was for a while there was like a caucus that was very class reductionist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people really didn't like that.
Yeah.
I think that you can be a class reductionist and be in the Big Ten. That's my opinion. And we're all going to draw the line different places, right? But I think fundamentally, if you read the Section 3 of Article 1 of the bylaws, right, of DSA, right now it says members may be expelled if they are found to be in substantial disagreement with the principles or policies of the organization, or if they consistently engage in undemocratic, disruptive behavior, or if they are under the discipline of any self-defined democratic centralist organization. Here's how I would edit it, is I would say, or are under the discipline of any self-defined democratic centralist organization that the National Political Committee has deemed, has put on X list. So we let the elected leadership of the organization say, yeah, this org, not cool. That's what I would do. And
so we created a black, but then that just happens like what you said earlier. They just changed the name of the party.
Right, but then NPC meets they can vote asynchronously and they can meet like once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so that solves the problem because it doesn't have to go to convention. So
but then you can start putting names on the bands. That's what you do.
Well, we have that already.
Yeah.
But the problem with these, if you have a party with 1,000 people and they all try to join, it's like a pain to go and.
Well, I mean, that's a spreadsheet. That's a spreadsheet that just goes.
Right. And people have lots of opinions about anarchists or communists or Maoists or social democrats or democratic socialists. And I think again we're a Big Ten, and so if you don't want to anyway, I'm happy to discuss this stuff not on any more of this stuff not on stream.
I did ask, by the way, when I went to the last briefing on this thing, I said, is any of this stuff things that we should be need to know? Like, do you guys care if I put this on social media? And they said, no, they don't care. I know for personal reasons, I know you're private, but I just want to let you know, I know they don't care that these resolutions are public.
No, that's not the problem.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right.
It's more so, I am elected leadership in a chapter and I don't give my position on everything.
Yeah.
Because it's not relevant to all of my stuff, and that's politics.
I hear you.
But I'm happy to talk another time.
I'm in an elected position now too, just in a very much smaller chapter. But I will say, do you want to answer this one?
I am.
You're not gonna answer it. You son of a bitch.
I'm not for it.
You're not for it.
No.
I mean, I knew you weren't gonna be, because I've known you long enough, but it still makes me sad.
The reason is, first, I don't think it's particularly useful for organizations in the United States to if the Palestinians voted and they decided to do something else, it's not our place. That's one thing else. American groups have the least credibility in saying what should happen in other places beyond it should be up to those people, and that's opinion. But generally, I will say I have a very good on this stuff. I have a very close comrade who's incredibly connected with the.
Well, let's go past the title.
There's people who I really trust. Who are critical in the Palestine movement.
Yeah.
Who and I vote their way. And for context, I founded my chapter's BDS working group, and we successfully worked with the BDS movement to achieve the largest boycott, divestment, sanctions victory in the history of the movement, which was over $15 billion.
Nice.
You can read about it on the BDS website.
Nice, very nice.
BDS
but I think the title is a bit of a. I think it's a bad title. It's a kind of a red herring, because this isn't a position on the one state, and I don't know why it's called that. It's this.
It's like ballot measures. They're oftentimes written incredibly obscurely in a way that's trying to get votes. even if it does something different.
Bait
And
the what's
it's a
it
bait and
called?
switch.
Yeah, it's like this is not about a one state, but this is really what I wanted your opinion on right here. The DSA convention reaffirming the commitment to BDS and anti-Zionism. This is one that I have heard people not want, and I find that sus.
That's the problem. So that's exactly the problem. So we have, this will be the third convention where we're probably going to reaffirm that we're an anti-Zionist organization and that we support BDS. And the problem is that because of our caucus structure, when groups try to pass stuff, there is one tiny little caucus called North Star that could be considered by some that might have some liberal Zionists in it. Okay, they have no seats.
You're
in
a dick, Jon Stewart.
They're not relevant, right? For all intents and purposes, there's no Zionism in DSA. For anybody in an elected position in our organization.
Right.
That being said, and everybody supported us being an anti-Zionist organization and us supporting BDS. Like that is consensus in our organization. That being said, when it comes to stuff like membership criteria and or other things that frankly have nothing to do with Israel, Palestine, Zionism, anti-Zionism, people who want us to be a different type of organization, have different membership criteria, that kind of thing, want a different structure. At the last convention, where essentially like it was different caucuses saying you're Zionist, no you're Zionist, no you're Zionist, and that's just it's
I do think that there's
we were all on the same side on the issues generally. People have different positions on like nuances. But I think it is generally a disingenuous framing.
Yeah, I do think there is a benefit to discussion with regard to like, I do think there is a line, right? Like for me to what if I'm a leftist and you're a leftist and our disagreement is the existence of money, right? And because you don't believe in class or money, okay. I don't know that that's something that we can have that debate, we can have that argument. But if we're talking about transphobia and you say, I think that trans women should be respected and all that, but they're not women, I'm going to go, that's transphobic and that's bullshit. And hey, we all agree on the same thing. We all believe that they should be respected. And I'm like, no, there's a line, just like with racism, like there is a time to have a discussion where, okay, wait a minute, where are you at? Like, because for me personally, I think anybody who supports the maintenance of a Jewish state, of an ethnocracy, that shouldn't be okay.
Okay, real quick. So for Viola, my statement is BDS good. I personally want one secular democratic state. That's my position. But if the Palestinian people choose something else,
of course,
it's not for me as an American.
No, you must have one state
to say you have to do this. So I don't think that's a particular. Left parties around the world don't take this position for that very reason, because you can end up selling out anyway. Okay, essentially, like, look, the Palestinians themselves do not agree. There's a bunch of different factions, and I don't think it's for us to take sides. I just say I support the Palestinian people, and that is enough.
Yeah.
I personally think that the most realistic solution is a secular democratic state with equal rights for everybody. That's my own opinion. But that's fine. The thing that's important is that in the convention, a lot of these resolutions, every resolution when you read it pretty much sounds good, right? But you got to dig into it and you got to figure out like, okay, who's writing it? Is it affiliated with a caucus? How would it change the structure of our organization? Would it make our organization stronger? Would it make it weaker? Some of them are like, at the last convention, we had a budget shortfall, and it was like, well, here's all these really important things that we can do, but we can't print money. We're limited. Yes, Viola, exactly. But it's not about our political position. It's about
Ethical
how the
positions, yeah.
what this actually does is it doesn't actually say DSA for one Palestinian state. What this actually does is do stuff with like member expulsion. So that's the problem. Is it actually has like very little to do with a secular democratic state.
Right.
Also, like DSA's position on what it should be is like kind of irrelevant to the world, and I generally don't like personally, as a person who does foreign relations work, too many statements. I don't like putting out a bunch of statements.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's real organizing.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't sound aggressive, and I'm happy to talk on Discord sometime. So generally, that's what I would say, and it's kind of like when we have limited budget of where do we prioritize stuff. It's like that's tough, you know. Like there was a big one last year about like if we should orient more towards union leadership or orient more towards the rank and file workers. The rank and
Mm-hmm.
file workers won by a pretty short margin.
Mm-hmm.
That one was very popular in my chapter, but like DSA Los Angeles was on the other side broadly. And in fact, in my opinion, when you looked at them, and I might be wrong because I don't follow National as closely as a lot of the people who I'm friends
Mm-hmm.
with who are like organizing the convention and stuff.
Well, because you have a like a huge ass chapter to run, so.
Yeah, I also do the foreign relations for Europe stuff, but
Right.
yeah,
No big deal.
Yeah, it's we all do too much stuff. The realistically, I don't know if it mattered which way it went because all the chapters that were doing things the way they wanted to do it are going to keep doing that stuff. And I think that's, in a one way, it's chaotic, and another way, it's the beauty of the organization because every chapter can kind of just do whatever they want.
What do you think is gonna happen if we do like there's a amendment on here to like become a little bit more, I don't want to use a bad word. I have to be careful with this stuff because I thought democratic centralism I was like democratic like a centralist. Like are they talking about like Democrat moderates, like moderate Dems? And they're like, no. Yeah.
Yes, party line stuff.
Right. But what if they want to start becoming more structured, right? Bringing a little bit more structure to the DSA and bringing it to national, and so that we can have like a what do you think is going to happen when if the vote to censure AOC and have her membership reviewed passes, and then the NPC,
if it's on the agenda.
I mean, it's in here.
Yes, but not everything there from convention experience. So the reason we did the delegate survey was because stuff that, like some stuff will get put onto the, if a bunch of people approve of something, it'll get moved to the consent agenda, which will get voted on as a package at the beginning of convention. And then
okay, because it's easy because they have such a massive majority.
Right, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then last time we like maybe got halfway through the agenda, I think.
So also, and then they just don't, they just die, right?
Technically, no, they technically get tabled, but yes, they die. And they don't, but they do. And a lot of the stuff won't make it to the agenda because there's just too much. We don't have enough time.
I mean, there's 100 and some odd things on here, so that makes sense.
People are more interested in, and there's a committee that is, putting together the agenda. And so, and the reason why I don't know if this is why this one will come up is because we did the survey before her vote on the Iron Dome stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, but some people wait to the last minute to do everything and only did the survey way after that.
No. It didn't matter at that point.
Yeah. Oh, really?
When the survey closed, it closed. So
no. I know, but it was this. I know what survey you're talking about. That survey was open after the Iron Dome stuff. Yeah, AOC is part of the DSA. So
AOC is a member of DSA.
Mm-hmm.
She is not endorsed by DSA nationally.
But she's endorsed.
So people can be a member and not be endorsed.
So my question to you is DSA New York endorses her?
I think they have. I think they did.
They did. Yeah, they did.
And I think that the national DSA was upset with that.
Right. So if that's where I'm going with this is that on the first package in here, they are they're talking about like creating more, bringing more authority to the center. And if the DSA were to say like, no, she's not a member, we've kicked her out of the DSA, and
To be clear, what is, again, this is why I think this is a bit of a waste of time, is that a censure actually does, no, the DSA did not endorse, sorry, we endorsed Bernie for president. That is it. In 2016 and 2020, we endorsed Bernie for presidency. But we have not made a presidential endorsement since then.
Right.
Yeah, you can go onto the DSA national, I can show you, it's the DSA NEC, and you can see our endorsed candidates here. So this is our DSA National Electoral Commission. I'll put it in the chat. And this is where you can see all of our campaigns that we're running and all of our current endorsements and all of our past endorsements. So here's our past endorsements. And if they won or lost. There you go.
Kelsey Bond, yay! She's gonna be at the soiree. Yeah. So how come? So maybe, I don't know if this is a dumb question if I'm missing something, but why don't I see current endorsements? Why isn't Mom Donnie on here?
Okay. National. They did not put in for national endorsement. They only did NYC DSA endorsement.
No
Frankly,
kidding.
NYC DSA is so big that they national endorsement means nothing to them because they're like bigger than their political capacity is way above national.
So that's the thing I'm talking about right there. Is like, so if DSA says, you know, she's kicked out, and because of her Zionist views, you're not allowed to endorse her. Eventually, there's going to come a point, right? Maybe it hasn't happened yet, but there's going to become a point where they're going to go, "Fuck you." Like, and DSA being as big as they are, New York being as big as they are, I imagine, because they seem to have a really close relationship with her.
Okay, so like they've been moving AOC slowly.
How? I feel like she's been moving right. Slowly.
No, she's been moving left actually for the last couple years, but it's a journey, and that was a really stupid vote that she did. Frankly, it's not even the vote; it's more so the approach to how to do politics. And if it's about getting a bill passed or like messaging, and I think not paying attention to the messaging as much, but
well, she pretty much said that it was so that because Israel said they had a right to defend themselves. And
you know, but this is what people say, and their actual motivations behind doing stuff are always different.
Oh yeah, but
Right?
we
Like,
can only we can only action on what they say because we can't read their minds.
No, but we don't need to read their minds. We can look at other things. So like here's a question. Here's an ethical quandary, and I'm not proposing to have a solution, right?
No,
but
go
like,
ahead.
Let's say you have an Iron Dome vote, right? And you also have like Medicare for all, a Medicare for all vote, right? And you have to trade your vote. You're going to say, okay, vote yes on Iron Dome, which is going to pass anyway. This is just an ethical quandary. And if you vote yes on Medicare for all, sorry, if you vote yes on Iron Dome, somebody else will vote yes on Medicare for all and give us Medicare for all. And keeping in mind that the vote on the dome is totally symbolic. I'm not saying that this happened, and
no,
it
I
probably
know.
didn't. But this is a question, and it's easy to say no. Out of hand. I see that, Viola. But I do think, and maybe, but politics is about making these kinds of decisions. Sometimes about a bunch of little things, a bunch of big things. And if you do want to look at, like, I'm not a utilitarian, but like Trump's big beautiful bill could very well likely kill more people than the genocide in Gaza. That's crazy, just because of the scale of populations and like how bad that thing is. So it's like, if there's this is why it's hard, and it's also why I think like Okay, and then really quick, and then I want to jump off.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about the AOC situation, but I will say, DSA did not run her campaign to win.
Mhm.
Uh, that was a different organization. It was Our Revolution that ran AOC. So,
Oh, okay.
And I also have an opinion that generally your first win is your weakest win, and you start to get better after that. But that's another. It's like my
She
own theory.
definitely, and I'm not going off of policy or anything, but she definitely seemed more radical, more on the left, more in line with DSA. Not to say like we're super radical or anything, but and then because of these death by paper cuts, these moves where you have to, she had to sacrifice her principles. I mean, I kind of get where Val is talking about here, where at some point you have to say, this is not principled. And me voting yes, and by the way, not even just her voting yes, leaving the other ones like Ilhan Omar and the rest of them to vote yes, to vote no on their own, and then make statements like I don't think more dead children would do anything. So are you saying that they do think more dead children would help? Like that was a really fucking bad move all the way around.
It was very dumb. 100% agree.
Mhm.
But
But I'm not trying to keep you on any longer, so
yeah,
don't feel. Yeah.
I would say generally,
Mhm.
like, and I don't think we should endorse her. It gets a little bit complicated if she goes for Senate.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah, I feel you.
and Viola, Spain is not representative of the rest of Europe. My gosh. Yeah,
Well,
don't
Spain knows that.
Spain, I don't like Pedro Sanchez as much as the next guy. I was actually invited to the it's not, is it UNITA? Who's the
You need a man?
hold on. Finish. Hold on. No, it's not Podemos, it's the other one. Sumar is made of who? Come on.
Spain just voted to recognize Palestine as a state.
Yes. Pedro Sanchez is a SOCDEM. United Left Party. Sorry, I was invited to go to their federal assembly, but I could not make it because my fixer was in Cuba and could not get it approved in time. Pedro Sanchez is a SOCDEM.
And now you're mental.
Mental?
And then and that Viola, you can't say you're not being
the Liberal
aggressive and call
Party?
somebody mental, Viola.
I disagree.
I'm imagining you saying you're
it's like the
mental and then
European
saying with
Social
all due
Democrat.
respect.
I mean, I don't know. Like that's yeah, PSOE is right. Like
Yes, Pedro
yeah,
Sanchez is widely regarded as a social democrat by both
yeah, he's a
affiliation and
social democrat.
ideology. He's the Secretary General of the
he's
Spanish Socialist Worker Party, which is formerly a social democratic political party in Spain. Yeah, I mean, at least on paper. Are you trying to say that he's on paper, but he's not, but he doesn't act as one?
He's in the he's the head of the Socialist International or whatever. I guess I just disagree. No, I'm saying SOCDEM compared to European politics, like compared to Keir Starmer, he's like a social democrat. Yeah, like he's further to the left than Keir Starmer, who's like in the Social Democratic Party. Look, we don't work with the Social Democrats. We talk to the left in the European Parliament. Right? Like I know that he's not the left, but like
I mean, I thought Social Democrats were libs.
I didn't say it has socialist in the name. Also, socialist in Europe like is just another word for social democrat. Because of the European Parliamentary Group, the Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats, that is the social democratic faction of the. Yeah, Viola, I'm sorry. I think yeah. the social democratic movement is not just about ideology. It's a cohesive through line in politics. So it's not just about like what people's opinions are and what they change. You know, like it's a legacy.
What's up?
I don't know. It's like Eurocommunism or something, right?
Blurred.
It's a communist party, but it's different than other ones around the world because of a different tradition.
So I'm reading here. Since returning to PSOE leadership in 2017, Sanchez has explicitly pushed for refoundation of social democracy that rejects neoliberalism in favor of more redistributive and progressive governance. His government has delivered major social democratic reforms on labor market, minimum basic income, euthanasia law, updated abortion rights, menstrual leave, rent caps. In international forums such as Davos in 2025, Sanchez framed Spain as a demonstration that social democracy works, achieving both growth and social justice while protecting nature and multilateral values.
And to be clear, stuff like menstrual leave only happened because of Sumar and Yolanda Diaz, you know, who comes from the Spanish Communist Party, who was the equivalent of the vice president, and before that was like the head of labor, and worked with DSA. We worked with Yolanda Diaz to help organize solidarity. Okay, so you're changing. Okay, so now it's Sumar parties. Yes, again, this is Spain. It's different than like a lot of other parts of Europe. And I'm not defending people voting that way. I'm saying that there's a difference. It's a symbolic vote. And what I'm saying is that like some American politicians and some people in politics view symbolic votes as less important. I don't think that they're less important. I think that they're very important. This is a tactical disagreement. It's not a moral disagreement.
Well, it becomes a moral disagreement when the statement that you give is a moral failing.
Well, and again, at a certain point, it is and it isn't. Right? Like, again, if you're like a symbolic statement versus like material gains or like preventing material harm, you know, we can't be absolute on things, right? Like lying is bad, but lying to save somebody's life is good.
Of course, but
right?
in
So,
the
like,
middle of a genocide,
I agree.
perpetuating Israel has the right to defend itself
But
is a bad thing.
What I'm trying to say is that it's a broader theme in her politics that I think is the fundamental problem is that she won. Nobody expected her to win, and DSA had no part in her kind of like how she was in office. You know, there was no socialist in office committees when she won. So it was
What does that mean though? Why are we clarifying that?
It means that there was like very little interaction with DSA after she won.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So like that's why what's different now is that now we have, you know, DSA had not experienced any of these wins before, and so we had to come up with a whole system that like essentially just never caught up with her of like how we manage our electeds. So Viola, for perspective, like DSA is not a formal political party. We have to like build out all of this infrastructure,
which is also on the compendium. What do you think about that? Never mind. I keep keeping you on.
Party. We're not the moment we fight over party line, we're screwed in this country.
Well, it's on the compendium to become a party. I'm like, oof.
It's a party surrogate, which is also like where the Marxist Unity Group is at. Is my opinion of where we should go. We don't ever need to talk to the Democrats, but we need to run on whatever ballot lines work. You know, in Portland, we run nonpartisan because we have nonpartisan elections.
Because it
so
works,
we don't ever need to. Yeah. I mean, that's like, but you know, we have a very different political system. I mean, in Portland, actually, our electoral system is similar to the Irish electoral system. It's actually nearly identical. So we can learn a lot from like the Spanish Trotskyists and you know, People Before Profit and Sinn Féin, and how they run their turf games. And actually, a number of members of our chapter have done canvassing and field work in Ireland and are able to help with our strategy and the math of like how we win our elections, which is how we were able to get a quarter of council in one election cycle.
All right, Ben, thank you so much for chatting, as always. And we haven't chatted in a while, so this was overdue. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a little bit disingenuous. I'm gonna be honest. You know, feel free
Or
to bug me, I guess, in the Discord, but
she's Che Guevara.
you know, okay. Well, have a good night. I'm going to bed.
Good night, Ben. You can find Ben on the same username CGBRDF in the Discord. They are always always up to talk and all that. So talking to socialist Americans just hurts my brain. You like this channel, okay? I'm an American socialist, so do not hurt my feelings. I'm a little sensitive, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I personally I personally do not find any value in even symbolically aligning yourself with genocidal maniacs, or and as if that wasn't enough, the other free Palestinian excuse me, sorry, Palestinian politician of ours voted no on it, and she left her out to dry. I was like, wow, that was supposed to be the crew. It was wild. We're organizing under very different material conditions. Yeah. I get what you mean. I do get what you mean. I think we're just disagreeing. That's all. It's not a matter of understanding. It's a matter of if we agree. And yeah, I can't. I would rather. Yeah, I don't know. It is a trolley. It is a trolley question, right? But I don't think it's fair to say, like, to put the, well, would you choose Medicare if you voted for $500 billion to the Iron Dome? Maybe, but that's not what happened, Like, if we got Medicare and she voted yes on $500 billion, not voted no on reducing the $500 million, then maybe we'd have an argument. Maybe it's like, yeah, she said that, but it was to get this Medicare for all passed, and now we have it. Like, if that was the case, then fine. But that wasn't the case, If there if there's any literature on leftist policies, philosophies of government, can some folks post that on the Discord? I want to learn more and be able to speak properly on the subject in history and recent history. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely. I know. There's been some good stuff posted. Elite posted a bunch of good books inside the book club forum thingy thing that we have. Should still be in there. Yeah, there's a whole bunch there. There's art stuff too. But yeah, Viola and CGBRDF, if you have any books or anything like that, if you guys have posted them in the Discord, Dr. Midnight is looking for some education. Shit, I want some education. So, yeah, 100%. Violet Tree 69. Thank you so much for being in the chat. I get it. Bone Factory. Sorry, I missed this. You had to stop a boy. I hope he beat his ass. Did you beat his ass? Do you need us to rally? Do you need to hide a body? I'll be your alibi. You were here the whole time. All right. I think we're at the end. That was a good talk. I'm actually kind of excited for this convention. I've never been to one before. I'm definitely getting more and more into the DSA and trying to really get into it. It's interesting because CG is the one who literally brought me into the DSA in February of 2021. and I've gone from being a part-timer, showing up 3 times a year, and now I'm on the steering committee and going to the convention and joining national working groups. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. One last video, okay. That too easy. I like that. And I like it already. I was thinking about that, man. It would be really cool if he wasn't in the middle of a campaign, because I would love for him to show up this time. All right, let's check this out, and then we'll be out of here. Mamdani on DSA, Rashida Khalil. Oh, no shit. Nice. That's awesome. Picture time. That's good. I can't wait to sit in a 3-hour line to have a picture of Rashida Tlaib. Why? Oh, you're in the wrong. Okay, that's why.
So I want to start by taking us back to March 11th of 2021. That was the day when 59 New York State legislators signed on to a call that Andrew Cuomo resign as the governor of New York. And yeah. And the letter that was released that day was a letter that I helped to write and a letter that I helped to recruit other electeds to sign on to. I, alongside with a couple of colleagues across the ideological spectrum, including, and this will become evident why I say this.
Wrong video. Dag nabbit. All right, let's
Hello, DSA members. It is such a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you today. My name is Zohran Mamdani. I am the New York State Assembly member for the 36th District in Northwest Queens, parts of Astoria, Long Island City. And most importantly, I am a proud member of Queens DSA, New York City DSA, and the Democratic Socialists of America.
New York City has so many. I don't think people really understand the density. New York City is a single city, and then you have the boroughs that are all part of the city. And so, whenever people say New York City, they're typically it's like Manhattan area, all right. But you have New York City, and then you have Queens DSA, which is wild.
So I want to start by taking us back to March 11th of 2021. That was the day when 59 New York State legislators signed on to a call that Andrew Cuomo resign as the governor of New York.
This is the same video.
And the letter that was released that day was a letter that I helped to write and a letter that I helped to recruit other electeds to sign on to.
Got it.
I, alongside with a couple of colleagues across the ideological spectrum, including, and this will become evident why I say this later, legislators like Amy Paulin and Nili Razik, as well as a couple others. Now, on March 11th, this was news to the public, but Cuomo's administration knew that this was coming. And thanks to the Attorney General's investigation, many months later, texts that were shared, that were initially private amongst the Cuomo administration's top officials were released to the public. And in those texts, we saw that Melissa DeRosa, who was the secretary to Governor Cuomo and his top aide, had texted the day before at 10:58 a.m. She wrote, "Nita is the only person we can come up with on the Amy thing. I heard Nili and Zohan are also pushing. Redacted and I are getting someone to reach out to Nili. Zohan is DSA, so we don't have play there. So I share this text message because I think it illustrates a key point for our organization. There was nothing about me individually that made me.
So I think this is why he didn't want to talk in stream. That's his opinion. That's not the DSA's position. Like you're talking about material conditions and it being hard to yada yada yada. Like he's just giving his personal opinion about, that doesn't mean it's the DSA position.
Protected from their influence. There was nothing about my identity. There was nothing even about my ideology in and of itself. What made me unique, what meant that they had no influence, what meant that they had no play there, was my organizational membership. If it had anything to do with me, they probably would have begun by getting my name right. Now, I think as our enemies have made clear, we are special as DSA electeds not because of ourselves. We are special because of our organization. And this is something that we must understand, that it is far easier to corrupt an individual than a mass movement organization. Now, the context in which I say this is that when we are elected to office as individuals, we enter into legislative chambers that are built to corrupt the most well-intentioned, the most capable, and the most talented among us. As individuals, you simply cannot withstand the coercion, the control, and the consequences that are meted out in that chamber forever. Maybe you can hold off for a year. Maybe you can hold off for a few terms. But soon, you will start to rationalize that which you initially rebelled against. There are moments in my own time as an elected official over the last 2.5 years that come to mind when speaking of this. Moments like picking up a phone call and feeling like you're in the middle of a tornado. Moments like being pulled aside by a colleague and being put apart bit by bit until tears start to well up in your eyes. And the only answer in those moments, the only answer to the coercion, to the control, to the threat of those consequences, is a committee of socialists in office. And to be clear, this is not simply a committee of those socialists who've been elected to office. This is the not very catchy name that we've come up with to describe a committee of those elected officials endorsed by our organization, their top staffers, organizational leadership, and representatives of the key working group priorities of the organization. The reason why the committee is the answer to these pressures, the committee is the answer to these threats, is because the committee creates the basis of coordination. And coordination gives rise to coherence. And coherence is the foundation of a collective. It is only because of the structure of a committee that we could be the first group of legislators to call for Cuomo's impeachment in March of 2021. It is only because of the structure of the committee that we could transform a slogan of tax the rich into a substantive proposal that led to an increase of taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers by more than $4 billion. It is only because of the structure of a committee that we could win the Build Public Renewables Act and simultaneously vote no on rolling back bail reform. It is only because of the structure of this committee that we are not simply electeds who happen to be DSA members, but rather DSA electeds. Because the committee forces us to turn the principled into the possible and not acclaim the possible as the principled. So as any good New Yorker, I typically think that New York is the center of the world. But the reason that I give these examples is because I think that this is not specific to our state. This, in fact, has nationwide resonance because we are all at different stages, chapters across the states of this country, in confronting the same question. We know why we contest for elected office. We know how to contest for elected office. We even know how to win those elections. But the question remains is, what do we do once we win? And I believe that the committee answers that question, because it is insufficient for us as an organization to simply elect people with a different set of politics. We have to elect people who will do politics differently. And you cannot do politics differently without organizing your electeds into a coherent body. If socialism is our theory and DSA is our practice, then a committee is where the two meet. Or as they say on Twitter, it is praxis. So I share all of this with you because we understand that winning an election is not an end. It is a means to an end. And as we contest for these offices across the country, I urge each and every chapter to begin the discussions internally about setting up such a committee, about ensuring that
I'm gonna stream on
what
Friday.
exactly it is you're asking people to sign up for.
Watch.
And that you have a theory of what their role will be in those legislative chambers.
Appreciate the hydrate.
Now, as the co-chair of New York City DSA, Jeremy Cohen, often reminds us, in the words of Amilcar Cabral, who wrote this in 1965, tell no lies, mask no difficulties, claim no easy victories. I am not one to say that this model has been 100% successful and has been easy in New York State. Rather, we are still on the journey of accomplishing the goals of that model. There are outstanding questions that we must reckon with, questions that I do not pretend to know the answers to. Questions around how to ensure the continued engagement between rank and file members of the organization and electeds of that organization. Questions like, how should we professionalize our organization as we deal with an increase in membership and increased number of electeds? How can we ensure that our model is sustainable as it still continues to demand free time and free labor from so many of our DSA members? And how do we reckon with the fact that it is insufficient to simply elect those with a different set of politics, while we must also elect as many people as possible in this moment when fascism is on the rise in this country? These are questions which we must reckon with, but I believe that the answers to these questions do not dispute the importance of setting up committees such as these across our country.
Bet.
You know, I bring this up because as we fight to do politics differently, we speak to a country that has been failed time and time again by politicians and political organizations who have fed people promises of a better world, of a better life. It is rational for those same people to look at our promises with skepticism. It is rational for them to take a moment to question whether this is any different than that which has come before. The only way that we can deliver, the only way that we can win their trust, rather, is to deliver that which we said we would, is to mean what we say. And I think about my own journey into this organization, because I was one of those people who had skepticisms about this organization. I recall in 2017, when I was working on the Qadr al-Yatim campaign for city council, a campaign which changed my life. I remember, we can clap for Qadr al-Yatim. If you don't clap for al-Yatim, you're a Zionist. It's a joke, you don't have to clap. I remember on that campaign hearing the caricatures of this organization, hearing the critiques of this organization, and understanding that a number of them held truth. But what won me over was the sincerity of this organization. I was somebody who began my journey in organizing and in politics by co-founding my school's first Students for Justice in Palestine.
What made me scared about this organization was a lot more superficial, and it's a video that still goes around to this very day of very, very, very cringe behavior in a DSA convention long ago. Very embarrassing, but we don't talk about that.
The struggle for Palestinian liberation was at the core of my politics and continues to be. And so I struggled to find a home in New York City.
It probably is. There's only one really cringe DSA
in a sense
video
of
that
coherence
goes
with the
around.
politics I felt around the future of New York City. And here was this organization that endorsed BDS, something which so many organizations that were composed of Muslims were struggling to.
Is it the one where like they keep calling point of order or point of privilege, asking people to not clap so loud and to just complaint after complaint after complaint?
Do at the time. And so I found this organization, what won me over was the sincerity of it. It was that sincerity that we mean what we say. When we say we have a socialist politic, it is consistent, it is universal, and it stands for justice in every place with no exception.
With no exception. Fucking Zoran, man. I don't get how people don't like him.
That sincerity brought me into this organization. That sincerity is why I joined this organization. It's why I ran to be on the organizing committee of the Queens Electoral Working Group of this organization. It is why I ran for office as a member of this organization. It is why I introduced legislation to ensure that we stop the subsidization of war crimes in Israel and in occupied territories.
Good night, Dr. Midnight. I appreciate you. I appreciate those subs, too.
It all comes back to that sincerity. It all comes back to knowing that I am a member of an organization.
For sure.
That means what it says, that delivers on its promises. And so I firmly believe that as we debate the future of our organization in the days to come, in the months and the years to come, that we understand that we must organize at every single level. We must organize at every level. Wherever we want to contest power, we must not send that person into that chamber alone. We must make sure that they remember they are a member of this organization and this organization stands with them. So with that, I say sincerity forever, solidarity forever, and socialism forever.
That's what's up. Look, I know you're not supposed to do hero worship. They're politicians. They're not celebrities. They're not your friends. I get it. But I think there are people who have been so hurt, so burned by AOC and Bernie and, people that they thought were good and they just turned out to be any other politician. And I think they're just waiting. They're burned. And so they're already starting off by not giving charity to Mamdani. And I don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine. I am team Mamdani all the way. Dude is yeah, exactly. Yeah, he is and I think that consistency matters, right? I mean, could he be bullshitting? Yeah. I mean, bullshitting the same message, fighting for the same things. At a certain point, I'd be like, I don't even care if you're lying. The results are there. If you do all the socialist things and do all the stuff that is good, and then you're like, waha, I didn't believe any of it. You know what I mean? Then if we had a Mamdani in Memphis, we wouldn't be getting poisoned. Yeah. And you know what? That's I mean, shit, if there was a Mamdani in Folkestone County, there wouldn't be billions of dollars to a new detention facility, right? But every single time we go and fight Avello, if Mamdani was the CEO of Avello, they wouldn't be flying detainees to El Salvador and around the country. Here's the thing: is that they every single time we go up to fight these things, and I guarantee you Memphis would say the same thing, is they go like this. They go, I know, it's hard, but we need the money, and this brings jobs, and but, and these people don't have any principles. But I will say this much. A lot of the voters don't either. You know what I mean? And that's what they think about too. They're like, if I vote for this dude, they're going to give X amount of hundreds of billions of dollars to the city, create X thousands of jobs. And if I say no to that, like, I'm not giving them a pass, by the way. I'm just saying, like, why our system is so fucked, and their weakness will continue to completely fuck us, because that's what capitalism is, right? That's what capitalism does. And not crony capitalism, not people abusing capitalism. It's literally the fucking nature of capitalism in and of itself. And you got people out there, because nobody thinks, top down, like, where the problem and the cancer's at the top. The cancer's always at the bottom. So how do you get me jobs? Well, I had to vote no. I had to vote no on this mega billionaire, the richest man in the world, putting this thing there, because it was going to poison our waters. Poison our waters how? Well, there's always pollution. Everything gives you cancer. You turned down $500 million budget increase and 632 jobs because cancer. Oh my God, everything gives you cancer now. And then you're voted out. So they're just like, fuck it, poison me. And then it's like, why did you do this? It sucks. The cultural hegemony of capitalism has such a strong grip, and they easily convince people to allow themselves to be oppressed or oppressed. Yeah, 100%. And everything, the whole thing is framed by white supremacy. So as if it wasn't bad that the poverty class, the working class, gets shit on, it doesn't even matter what happens with the economy and what happens. Like, shit, you can become a socialist, and our country doesn't even have it doesn't even have a desire to fix the racism problem, because it just it's but that's why we fight, right? That's why they fight. They want us to be tired, and they want us to quit. They want us to sit at home and say, fuck it, I hate this fucking place. They want us to do nothing, right? So we have to keep showing up. We have to keep showing up. We have to keep fighting, because sometimes you get a Mamdani mayor, and you can't get that without fighting. Ladies, gentlemen, and nebbies, that is the show. I'm Robo, and this is Left Face. I appreciate everyone being here. I appreciate the views. I appreciate you hanging out and arguing with guests. I love it. Viola, I'm not being sarcastic. I love it. I love the energy. And I love the education. I love the perspective from across the pond. I really do appreciate it. Everybody, whether you chatted or donated or anything, thank you. And thank you for pushing me, John Stewart, Bone Factory. Thank you for pushing me to stream. I'm gonna stream on Friday. It'll be from my phone, just like on Thursday for Nerds of Culture. It'll be from my phone. So, I'll see you all then. Love you all. And while you're out there trying to save the world, don't forget, take care of yourself, hydrate, get some sleep, wash your hands. Adios. Yeah, IRL stream. I'm thinking about it. I probably will. Yeah. Out.